All right now, for all you cool cats, all you arrow twirlers with an eye on the X, we have a special evening for you. Guided by Wilderness Archery's own John Scar and Elliot Peters, it's Archery After Hours, where the bow rests and the night continues.
Pretty late.
Yeah.
Welcome, ahoy, everyone. Welcome to
Ahoy.
Archery After Hours. We are very excited tonight. We have a friend of the show, Roland Deason, coming in hot from Iowa to give us a little bit of a rundown on what he's doing this year. We're going to get into some indoor. I kind of want to keep it in the outdoor realm a little bit because we have some exciting news coming out tomorrow, aka today when the podcast is released. So we'll get into some fun stuff about arrows and tournaments and what have you. So, Roland, go ahead and give us a little rundown about yourself.
All right, sounds good. Thanks again for having me on. But yeah, I started in NASP actually in junior year. That's when I started archery, junior year in high school, and really liked it. Then after like that summer, I picked up a compound through 4-H shooting sports. They have a 4-H shooting sports nationals. We don't have like a ton that go for that in Iowa, so I got on that team like pretty easy. I did not do well at nationals, but it was cool. And then that just pretty much kind of got me started on that. Now, that was junior year. I'm 27 now. I was 15 then, so been doing it for a decent while now. But
yeah,
I think 2 or maybe 3 years ago I turned pro. It was just last year I really started to actually do well and started picking up traction. I still didn't do as well as I'd like, but I made one.
That's pretty fast track.
Yeah. I made one shoot off, not the one I thought I was gonna make. It seems like the way harder one to make, but is kind of the easier one in a way. But about 3 years ago, I guess, also I started working at the bow shop I work at, which is where I'm at right now, Archery Field and Sports, in Des Moines, Iowa, which is like, if you know the Iowa Pro-Am, we're like 15 minutes from where that's hosted.
Okay.
That's coming up pretty soon and into December. But yeah, started making strings for them kind of initially. Like that was kind of what, like my boss, Mark, like he made strings for the shop. Like that was mainly what we did for order. Like we didn't really order that many strings. We just made them. And so that was the main thing he wanted me to do. I still make my own strings, but we just order threads or gas now because it's like, this is stupid. It's like, it's not worth it. But yep, here I am. That's most of it. But
damn, that's I heard about you via Wendell's podcast maybe 2 years ago or something like that.
And I don't remember, but
yeah, something like that. And then like literally since then, or maybe I just wasn't paying attention or something like that. But like I've seen you a lot ever since. Like tonight we were my son and I were watching reruns of the classic from last year, and there you were shooting against Pettit, and things maybe I'm just catching on or whatever, but like you kicked ass last year. You had a hell of a fast track, like I was saying earlier. Like you've hammered down for a pretty short professional career.
Yeah, thanks
so
man.
far.
Yeah. Last year was definitely like the year before, like not this year, but like the year before.
Yeah,
was I think I made money at the Iowa Pro-Am, and I think that was the only shoot I made money at as a pro. And then this last year, it was a lot better than that, obviously. But yeah, it was just, I don't know. But mainly I started punching, so that helped a lot. Yeah. But last year that's crazy. You've seen me a lot though. But yeah, I don't know. I think
just via like Instagram and shoots, and just you know, when you see the leaderboard and the brackets and things, and just notice the name, that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I know we're gonna get into this eventually. I do think, as stupid as it is, the headband helps. It's just like it's just kind of goofy and stupid, so people just like see like what is that? But
everybody needs a trademark, and that's great.
Yeah, it worked out pretty good.
Hell yeah! You still rocking it?
Oh yeah. Well, so a little bit of backstory, maybe rambling, but like that started. It would have been like not this Vegas, but Las Vegas. They handed out those like weird luggage strap things. Everybody was like, "What
Oh
is this?"
yeah,
Like a
those were
swivel belt.
terrible.
Yeah, I was like, "What the fuck are these?" But it was like
Yeah.
a luggage strap or something. And then like good friend Bill that was there, he used to like, "You should wear it as a headband." He cut it up, and then I just like put it on, and then like people just thought it was funny, and then I was like, all right, well. That's it. Like we're just doing it for this Vegas. Like it was a funny joke. Like that's it. And then people kept coming up to me at shoots. Like so many people came up to me. It's like, "Where's the headband?" And I was like, "All right, I guess people think this is funny. Like I guess I got to keep doing it. I don't know."
Funny you say that. I saw you there wearing it. I was
Yeah,
at Vegas that year, and I remember thinking, that's the only useful thing I've seen somebody do with that stupid strap. I remember
Yeah.
I didn't know you at the time, but I remember seeing a guy wearing it as a headband. And I'm like, well, at least somebody found use for that stupid seatbelt piece of fabric. I don't know what that was,
Yeah.
but hell of a
That's
gift.
funny. Dude, there was they had like a live feed of like I guess our qualifications or whatever for Vegas, and Paige was commenting on it, and it was right at the end of the round, and Dean Alberga, if you know who that is, like the event photographer, he does like World Archery and a bunch of them. He like thought it was funny, he was like, "All right, take your arrows and like do them like a ninja or something, like cross them like swords or whatever." They panned to me, and then Paige just like, "I can't believe there's people out here that like I'm throwing up on the line, and people just like can't like people not taking it serious at all." It's like the worst timing ever. It was so funny.
Oh, that's funny.
People kept sending me that clip. It was like, I don't know, man.
Oh, I got to see that. That's funny.
I remember it because so I've been following you for a little bit longer. I just found you on social media or whatever, and I was like, this guy's cool. I like what he's putting out. He's got some good information. And so I remember I was watching the live feed, and I'm looking, and I think it was Steve Anderson and whoever the other gentleman is that commentates. They just kept panning back to you. And I was like, is that Roland? Is that the guy that I know from social media? And I remember messaging you. I was like, they're talking about you. You're like, oh yeah, whatever. I think it's kind of a cool signature because there is like some relaxation in having kind of like something funny to go bounce off of. And I think it's an awesome way to do it. Some people yawn to relax, and some people crack jokes, and to have like
women's hair.
It's pretty hard to get. Exactly.
I remember seeing that. Yeah.
I was watching some of the old the Page stuff that you did up at Page's house today, and I was laughing so hard. That was
a good time.
Yeah.
Hey, Roland, did you? How many years did you run like amateur?
I mean, technically, I guess most of it before, like. Technically from like 2016 to I guess like
okay, so a while.
I didn't shoot that many like national shoots though. Like I shot a good like I don't know 3 or 4 national shoots maybe for like 2 years in amateur. I did shoot I guess like my last year as an amateur I shot all the ASAs in K50.
Okay,
and that was actually what bumped me into like being a pro because I didn't necessarily think I was ready or anything like that. I just like ASA, they will bump you up, which I actually think is kind of a good system.
Yeah.
And then NFA, if you're a pro in something else, you have to be a pro in NFA. So it was like, all right, well, we'll do it. But yeah.
Oh, but damn.
Yep.
Well, that's cool. I do like that they say, you know what, this score, you're a pro now. Get your ass over there.
Yep.
The NFA needs to do that too.
I agree, and I get like I've heard people on the other side that they're like, well, I have a job, I don't really want to like put that much time into it. I don't want to like just jump into a pro, like all this stuff. I get that, but at the same time, it's like you do need that push, like let other people win, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like let them have their moment, like not just be stacked, at the top. But
I've battled with that for a while, just for that same thing. It's like, look, I've barely made it out here in time. Because the kids want to do bedtime and there's so much shit working 6 10s and whatever. You can make all the excuses in the world. But like I truly don't have as much time as I'd like to if I was going to consider myself a pro. But at the same time, there are days when you shoot those scores and you're just as good as any other pro. And they're few and far between, but it does happen. And I do see like I kind of just wish they would just go, you know what? Too bad. Sorry, you're a pro now. And you didn't have to juggle that bullshit because I could justify it either way.
Yeah, the simple way, I mean, ASA is just like they have, I think it's like a certain amount of top tens or a certain amount of top fives, like, I don't know, like 4 top 10s or 2 top 5s or something like that. And then also a certain amount of money you have to make from the shoot. Like,
Oh, sure.
we have to win a certain amount, which maybe it could be raised a little bit, but like, I think that's a good system because it's like,
Yeah.
well, if you win 3 NFA national shoots in a row in amateur, it's like, all right, you should probably go. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Leave.
shots fired.
Like wait, did you? No, I just mean in a year, like in a row. Did you do that?
No, I didn't.
Wait, who's
No,
the shots fired to?
I didn't do that.
the young gentleman who has won Reading 3 years in a row now as an amateur.
I don't know who that is. Well,
since
I'll Google
since
it.
our fine young man
Since
here,
I did it?
Elliot. Yeah,
Who? When did I do it? 22, I think.
22, I think. Yeah, 22.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I don't know the guy's name offhand, but
He's won it every year since.
he, yeah, that I know of. Yeah, at least
wicked.
last year and the year before, and he throws down like a 15-30 or a 15-32.
Solid.
And
Yeah.
he's a solid shooter. I don't know him from any of the stuff out here. From what I understand, he's from Washington, but he's won it at least twice in a row. I didn't even pay attention this year, but I'm pretty sure he did. I could be wrong. I'll check myself on that. But yeah, I think if you win a national event like that, especially if you win it multiple times, I think it kind of stands to say that you have.
It shouldn't be on you to make that call. Somebody ought to. In no other sport do you get to choose if you are or aren't. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
true.
I mean, some you do, but I don't know. It just seems kind of silly. ASA's got it right, in my opinion.
Yeah, so you just have some sort of guideline where it's, I don't know. Like, I mean, it would be cool if we're more like golf or something where it's like, it's a challenge and like people really want to do it and all that stuff. And, I don't know. You have a whole thing dedicated to people becoming pros or whatever, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think I think having something to push you into it kind of automatically is kind of a good way to do that. Just because there is, just to correct myself, the individual that won last year is not the same one that I am talking about. Just to correct myself. But look at Elliot here. He's Mr. number 11. Good job, sir.
What?
You got
Number
11th
11
last
what?
year. You got
I
11th
did?
last year. Yeah.
What did I shoot at 15-22?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least you didn't shoot a
Did
zero.
you shoot Reading, Roland?
This is
did.
my first year. Yeah, it was awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
That was really cool. I mean,
Hell
it's like
yeah.
a bucket list for everybody, I think. But like,
Sure.
yeah, I don't know why, because like last year, I shot like a bunch of national tournaments. But to me, in my head, it was still like, oh, Reading's like crazy expensive, and it's like, wait, I have to fly to all these anyways, and you have to get a rental car anyways.
Yeah.
It's like, let me just look at the flights, and it was like $400. It was like, all right, I'll just go, and it was awesome. It was everything I kind of thought it would be. Like, I don't know, it was just a cool vibe. Good. It was fun to like an actual fun shoot, like enjoyable. It was, I don't know, I had a lot of fun.
Hell yeah, you coming back?
Oh yeah, for sure. We're probably gonna get like an Airbnb for Iowa. Like we're talking like a lot of. Me and Warren went last year, which Warren Rush, he's the guy like the president of the Iowa Pro-Am, like he runs all that.
Okay.
Me and him went last year, and we're just like talking all of these people around us to go like with us and get it like to share an Airbnb or whatever.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. I mean, even people from around here, that's the way everybody's doing it.
It seems like it because the like practice range is a little. That's like the only thing that's not great. It seems like about it is like just the practice range is crowded. So like if you get an Airbnb, you just post up a target.
Exactly. What did you shoot last year?
I think I did 8 down. I think.
Hell yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I thought you were a 33 or a 32. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Oh no, just saying.
Yeah.
I knew you were pretty high up there.
That's a hell of a first year at Reading.
I appreciate it. I actually, it was weird because I thought, I don't want to make it sound like a bad thing, but like when I shot that, I was actually pretty disappointed with that score. And I was like, all right, I thought it was going to be like way down in like terms of the rankings, but like I dropped I think one on the long day, and it was on a short.
Mhm.
No, I know I'm wrong about that. I dropped one on the elk for sure, but like
Yeah.
it was just like I dropped at least 2 or 3 on like fairly short targets that were just stupid, like
Mhm.
uphill, and you just drop. Like that was definitely a common thing, but
Mhm.
it was like the last day I dropped 4, and it was not like the hard side of the course, and so it was like I was disappointed with that score, but then it was like shit. I guess it's not actually that bad of a score. It was
No, it's
weird. I
a
don't know.
great score. But no matter what you do, you can shoot your best score of your life. But when you miss those dumb chip shots, or you know what I mean, like it always feels like it's you're not on today, or whatever. It's
Yeah,
just not the case.
yeah. I definitely
That's
let
a
that get
solid.
to me on that.
Yeah.
Like the last day, I like missed one that was really easy, and it was like I just let it spiral. But dude, Stefan Hansen though, like one down in those can like on the last day he had the hard day. Like he had elk and stuff like that.
Yep.
Holy shit! How did he shoot one down in that? Like, and
Well, he shot 2 down.
was he 2 down? Or he was he
Yeah.
was 1 down going into it. I think he shot 1 down on that day. And he said it was on like an easy target. He just was like he knew he won, so he just like just sent it. And he's like, holy fuck! Like, are you serious on
So
that day? Like that was weird.
yeah, so it was him and one of our close buddies, Taylor Spoolstra,
I love
were
Taylor. Yeah.
clean through day 2, and so he dropped
I forgot
one
about
at
that.
I
That was cool.
believe the elk herd, and Taylor dropped one at the elk herd, the moose, and the buffalo, and so it was like I guess his last target, and he, like you said, he's just I all I need is a 10 to win, apparently,
Yeah.
is what he said. So
Yeah, I love Taylor though. Taylor's awesome.
Heck yeah, Taylor's good stuff. What's Taylor doing lately, John? Texting you mid podcast?
yeah, texting and calling mid podcast for sure.
Yeah, freaking.
I might have to correct myself on this. Nope, no, I don't. Never mind. I was scrolled down.
On what?
But anyways, I thought that I was wrong about the individual who's been winning at Reading in the amateur
Oh.
class. The thing that I do need to distinguish is it's the trail shoot. He's not shooting in the money class.
Oh.
That doesn't even count.
So, but anywho, that don't matter anymore. I just wanted to make sure I didn't say anything silly. Taylor is up to. I sent him a message. I made this like pre-recorded thing that I can send to people in the middle of the day. I'll send it to you one day, and it's just like, hey, let's shoot an indoor game live. Just to add a little pressure in the practice session and something like that. And I sent him that, and he's like, oh, I'm at the store. I just bought a 3D printer. And then
Oh boy,
he's fishing a lot. He's catching big mouth bass, and
big mouth.
yeah, he's shooting. He's still. I'm sure he's still got it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But yeah, he's got me on a train that I need to get off real quickly here.
What do you mean?
I have way too many of these releases now.
Oh, you're stacking up all those stands still?
Yeah, I have like 12 now.
Dude, what is... Whatever.
Yo.
And I run 3.
Get a 401k, dude.
I got it in releases.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I got them all set differently. And like some days one's pounding, the other day another's pounding. But I got Jesse on him now. He shot an SX3 tonight, 322X.
That's a hard release to beat.
It is.
What are you running right now, Roland? I know you're punching, huh?
Yeah, Stan Onyx, but I've been looking for a which one? I guess the shoot off.
I got you covered, bro. Got you covered.
You have larges or mediums, but those things do hold their value. Like you were kind of right about the 401k. It's like the old HBCs and then the stands.
Yep.
Like those things are crazy value.
Especially now.
Yeah.
I have one of those ailerons, and I have one of those original HBCs. I lent out the original HBC to one of the guys at the shop who's just getting into the target thing. And then I have...
You have a shoot-off for him?
Yeah, I do, but I only have one in large.
You don't need a shoot-off.
I don't know if I can...
You keep it. It's all good. But
he needs a medium.
I got mediums, though.
I mean, the medium might be good. I don't remember on the on the shoot offs, I've only like held them like Taylor's or like a few other people's, but like on these, like the Onyx, like especially the index finger, that like you almost have to size up only for the index finger. Like
Yeah.
these are fine,
This
but this is like mega tight.
the
If you got
sizing
big
on those,
hands,
like after the prefects or the perfects or whatever, the sizing got really weird. Now you got to have like XLs and stuff for like most hands. Like what size is that?
This is a large, and yeah, I considered even like just chopping Ace as like, which he
So
chopped like this part off, and it does make it better, but I don't know.
so I shoot a medium in the old stands before they changed their sizing. Their sizing's super weird now, but like a medium would probably fit, or a large would be plenty big. Like I ran a SX3 large for a few years, and it was bear claw shit. It was huge. It
Yeah.
seemed like
Yeah, the SX3, I remember now. Yeah, it is kind of like spread out. Yeah.
it's calm.
the SX3 and the shoot offs, if you run a large in the Onyx, most likely the medium's going to fit you fine. They're just, for some people's hands are just a touch bigger and they need that large.
Yeah.
I literally just got one from Doug because he shot mine at one day. We were down there shooting and he went and found one. And I saw the same guy's post and I was like, hey man, you still got that large? And he's like, oh, I just sold it today. And Doug texted me earlier in the day. He goes, hey, I'm going to need a post for this SX3 and that I just bought. And I was like, did you sell it to a Doug by chance? And he goes, yeah. And I was like, totally fine. It'll be in my release pouch soon enough. So he hit me up and now I have it. It's a pristine SX3. So I shot the 3-finger tonight. I didn't shoot that one. It's just I bounce between the 4 and the 3 pretty consistently.
I always ended up buying a 4 just and hanging my finger off it like it was a 3, but you had the option.
Yeah, I almost don't shoot the 4-finger with a fourth finger on there. It just
Every time I see
it's not
Chance
comfortable.
Boboff shoot with all 4 fingers I'm on, I'm like, that looks like the way to do it. And I try to do it, and it doesn't work.
It looks so comfy the way he does it. Yeah.
It looks cool.
Looks
Anywho,
shit, what'd I do?
let's
I
get
lose
into.
Oh,
I want to talk to you about Reading this year because you said this was your first year shooting Reading, right?
Yep.
So you came out pretty much swinging, I'd say, at Reading. I mean, I think you were top 10 at least,
I think
not
so,
like
something
7
that.
or 6 or something like that. What was that shoot off experience like in comparison to, say, like an indoor shoot off? Because obviously you're kind of outdoors, but you're still kind of surrounded by everyone. They
Kinda.
got the loudspeaker going on. We'll see. Yep, it's just going to be us for a minute.
Okay, sorry.
Just tell me about like what that shoot off experience is like in comparison to, say, maybe a Lancaster or an Iowa shoot off.
Yeah, it was pretty similar. I think mainly just because it was the one arrow and because I hadn't done that before, and like just reading it all, like I'd never watched the shoot off in person. Like I'd always seen the video. Like this is a weird thing to mention, but like the whole fact that the elk is actually downhill, I'm pretty sure, right? It's downhill, isn't it? I don't remember. But in the video, I'm pretty sure in the video it looks uphill.
Yeah.
And I was like, even just something like that kind of threw me off. But the main thing I think that made it pretty nerve-wracking for me on that arrow was just because I was like, I need to watch like what the wind's doing. I need to see everybody's arrows. Like, all right, like, and then try to ask them where they aim to see if they tell me or not. I don't know if anybody did, but it was a pretty nerve-wracking arrow to me. But I definitely need to get a little bit better with punching under pressure because I definitely like I pretty much just saw the dot and like punched it. I had an idea of where I wanted to aim and I didn't quite get there, but it worked out. So I was aiming in the wrong spot. But yeah, it was, I don't know, it was weird. It was yeah, it felt like the same. It felt the same as the first arrow at Lancaster on the stage. It was just like felt like I could hear nothing. It felt like there was like almost like a pressure building in my head and my ears. Like it's almost like a ringing, but like not. It just like I don't know how to describe it, but it was just like sensory overload.
Oh,
yeah.
I was watching
it was fine.
I was, like I said, I was watching the classic earlier this evening, and like the way they've got that set up, that's so cool. right? They got the cameras and the shit everywhere, and it's done up very, very nice. But that also has to add an immense amount of pressure. Just how, like, it's just you are the only thing under the lights that are on in that room. You know, like that's got to be pretty heavy.
Yeah, I would. I don't know for sure, just because I haven't made the other ones, like where you're like a Vegas or something like that, where it's like a
Yeah.
bunch of people. But yeah, it was. So when I made that, like, I was just like, all right, this is a bonus now. So I was like, don't be nervous. Like, there's no reason to be nervous. It's a bonus. Like, you already did well. You know, just try to have fun. And I was like, I was kind of convinced, like, I'm not gonna be that nervous. And then I went out there, and it was like, I went out the window. But it was a crazy feeling. Like, yeah, it was just super weird. I don't know. It's hard to describe for sure, but yeah, it's insane lights on you. Like, I didn't really notice anybody like looking at me, even though everybody, I guess, is kind of looking at you. It
Sure.
was just because it was such sensory overload. Like, but yeah, that first shot, it's like, it feels like it's taking like 3 years. Like, just watching it be in the middle, and it's like, I just don't fucking don't come off the wall. Don't shoot a 7. Like, and it's like, I don't know how I'm gonna shoot this arrow. Like, that's almost like the thought in my head is like, I don't know how I'm gonna let go of this arrow, because like that's kind of for me the main advantage I think that helped me mentally with the punching is like, oh, well, you should wait till it's in the middle. Like, I don't have to worry about it not being in the middle when I punch it or anything like that. But in that situation, it was like, I don't know how I'm ever gonna decide. Like, I don't even have the mental capacity to decide when I'm gonna let go of this arrow. It was just so weird. But after that first arrow, it was definitely better. But yeah, it was really cool. Like, it's like the best worst feeling ever. I don't know.
Oh
Like,
no,
literally the best worst.
Yeah, that's almost sickening and hard to shoot through, but the coolest at the same time. You know, it's like it's what you're there for, to make it to that point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Were there any targets when you were shooting Redding? Well, I guess, was this your first safari style, being from Iowa?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Dude, so how did you even prepare for that?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
There was a guy that brought it. I don't know if they still sell these or not, but there was a guy that brought in a bunch of old archery stuff, and I had it like for at least a few years before we actually even decided to go to Redding. And it was just like a mouse mat thing with some holes in the side.
Oh yeah, I used to
have
have one of those.
It was pretty neat. I was like, oh, well, I'll just pull that out, and that's literally all I did was I just put that on like a cube target and like put it in different spots and stuff like that. But that's all I did. I'm glad I did do that or have that, just because of like mainly figuring out what size pin and like if I need a light or whatever, or maybe even a dot behind it. And yeah, like most of them wasn't a big deal, but like definitely some it would start to wash out if I didn't have a light or something.
So what'd you use?
I used a 29 green.
Okay.
Which was almost too big. Like, I would have preferred a 19, but it was like, man, I don't want to deal with this washing out. So I just went with the 29 and dealt with it on some of the ones where it was a little bit tighter. But yeah, what do you guys use for that stuff?
I run a hoop sticker.
What is that? Just like a circle?
Just a circle.
Or whatever? Okay.
Yeah, I got my wife's sticker machine, and I sit there with calipers and adjust the ID and the wall thickness until I like it, and it frames the orange perfectly. Because I hate covering shit up, and if I put a dot on there, I can see a lot of movement, and I'd rather just center it, not cover anything up, look exactly where I'm supposed to be, and let it roll. And it works good for me outdoors. I don't do it indoors, but yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. What, like, so like, let's say the elk or 88 yards, like, what does that look? Is it, like, what's the alignment?
Depending on it, you can see orange, and you can see a little bit of foam around that, and then there's my sticker. Okay. So it's still on that particular target, because that dot at that distance seems a little small. It frames a little small for the hoop. Everywhere else, it fits pretty good inside.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. It takes a little trial and error to get that diameter right. I was running a 7-power X Focus last year. So it's a pretty good size. It's like a friggin' 1/4-inch circle. It's actually a very big circle, but it's a pretty high magnification.
That was definitely something. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, he said, what is that to a hoop? Because he's like, a standard 3D guy,
I'm
sure there's
not a lot of
no
hoop
running
shooting
hoops
out
out there. Yeah.
No, But yeah, that was something I was struggling with, like trying to figure out what would be the best, because exactly like what you said, and I said the elk, but I think isn't it the 60 yarder? Is that where it's the worst, like size to distance ratio? Or is it's something like that? I don't know, but it's like
63-yard
the
caribou or
freaking
something.
60. Yeah.
yeah, that freaking
The,
pin is like, dude, it's very hard to aim with, because it was like I pretty much just have to make sure I see a sliver of yellow or orange all the way around it, otherwise you're
Yeah,
not in the middle. But
I
the
can't see. I can't do
63
that.
yard the
yeah,
63-yard caribou is the longest for the distance, and so is the elk herd. So those are
okay,
going to be your two that really
At the end
you
of the dot
struggle
size
on.
limit.
Yeah.
yeah,
Things like Bigfoot, you should have plenty of room.
yeah,
Finally
Bigfoot
got
feet.
Bigfoot this year.
nice.
Yeah, finally did.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, someone had to do it this year since apparently I can't.
Yeah,
Oh
that
man.
was a struggle for me, like just trying to figure out what would work, and then yeah, those are hard targets for sure.
You get to shoot a lot of angles out there?
No, no,
No.
we have I think we have one. Technically, they weren't even. I guess I don't know what you call it, official or whatever. We only have one official NFA field course in Iowa, which is sad, but we
Oh
used
well.
to have more. But yeah, and then no safaris, no nothing like that, which would be
Mhm.
really cool. But yeah, I don't know. I did want to go to. It was either going to be Reading last year. It was either going to be Reading or that Midwest Trail shoot, but we just ended up doing Reading.
Good choice.
I think you made a good choice there. Yeah, Reading is by far my favorite event every
Yeah.
year.
Straight up.
Whether or not because me and Elliot are partners up there, um, whether or not we do well, it's always a blast.
Yeah,
I don't think we've had a single bad group of people to hang out and shoot with. They're all awesome. This year we had a wonderful time hanging out with Darren Christianberry,
Mm-hmm.
oh, nice.
and his guys.
Yeah.
And I mean, our first year together, we shot on the A target, but behind us was, Rio, Slosher, Perkins, Schaff, all the big wigs. And, so we got to chop it up with them at the slow targets, and, you could sneak in a little question here or there and, try and get some secret sauce. But yeah, it's got to be just, in my opinion, like probably for my experience, the best or most well-rounded shoot in the sense of like how it's run.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's super seamless. I haven't been to Lancaster, but that seems like one that would probably run very similar to that. It's very well run and organized.
Next year, bro.
And so
Nice.
I might sleep on the ground with Mark. And
I was
Pietro.
talking to Mark all last week, crunching numbers and stuff, and then I talked to my finance lady, and she says that it's just not a good time because I've already promised her a bunch of stuff for the house this year that's going to cost me both arms and legs. So
Well, you
next
just need
year,
to sign up some more weddings.
I know. Nobody wants to get married
And
anymore.
then you can hire me and I'll stock up the money too.
How is that though? Is that a freaking awesome shoot? Mark was telling me, he's like, dude, because I've been going to Vegas the last few years. He goes, once you do Lancaster, it's going to be hard not to go back. He said it really, really liked it.
I do really, really like it, and I feel the same way. But I think that one is actually a lot of people, I would say, don't feel that way.
Oh,
Just
really?
because I think, like my boss Mark, actually, funny enough, he does not like Lancaster, mainly just because if you don't do well the first day, well, it depends, especially on the division. But like, there's a cut to either 64 or 32, or I think some of them might even be 16. It's like you might just shoot your 60 arrows and like that's it. Now, obviously, like you do get to watch the finals, which is like a really good show, and it's really in close. Like it's a pretty small room.
Yeah.
So it's obviously an amazing production. But if you don't make the matches, it can be, I think, maybe a little discouraging, or like you don't feel like you did that much. Reading, I mean, I agree with you. Like I think that might be my favorite, just because it's kind of like a hangout. It's almost like a regular 3D shoot where you pick who you shoot with. It's just a lot of fun. But yeah, and then you get a guaranteed 3 days you're shooting. The same as Vegas. Like obviously, like you're shooting 3 days, so you're not just gonna be like I don't know, hanging out or whatever. But I don't know. I'll go to Lancaster every year though.
Yeah,
for sure.
I don't know, I want to check it out. I got to try some of these other ones. instead of
Yeah.
just everything
And then,
nearby.
for sure. And then I didn't do it last year, but like just because I didn't even realize, I didn't like pay attention. But like what am I? Gettysburg is like 45 minutes away or whatever. Just
Mhm.
like that seems like that'd be cool to go like check out, but I don't know.
Yeah, get your history on.
Yeah, I don't know. That seems I watched some YouTube video about like the tour guide stuff. Like you have to do some crazy like they had like 50 people applying to be like some tour, like a Gettysburg tour guide that like just shows people around. And the only person that passed all the tests was a literal like Civil War professor. And
Oh,
so
really?
it's like a legit like and everybody so I heard from Warren that went out there and a few other people like they're like, no, this is like awesome. Like I'm like, really? Like a history tour? And they're like, no, this is like it feels like you're there. I'm like, okay. But
Huh.
and then I saw that video and I'm like, okay, this shit might be real. I don't know. So,
Well, hell, why
maybe
not?
something to try.
Might
Yeah.
as well while you're there. Shit.
Yeah.
So you said you don't have a lot of angles to shoot on and things like that. When you went to Reading, minus the pin size that you went with, quick question: what power lens you run?
6 power.
Is that for 3D indoor? Doesn't matter. You just run 6.
Pretty much. I tried a 7 for Reading and I tried it a little bit too close to the shoot and I was like, I can't deal with this. Like this is holy crap. But yeah, I've just been 6 pretty much for everything.
So, outside of the pin size for the dots, what was the thing that you experienced that was the most challenging about Reading this year when you went?
The wind on the last
Minus
day,
the wind.
yeah, I'd say the wind, honestly though, like not just like normal wind, but like some of those spots in there were like insane swirl or whatever.
Mhm.
I never experienced wind in like that kind of a funnel or like whatever you'd call it. I don't even know what the hell the wind was doing. But like, I'm sure you guys deal with it a lot, but it's like you look at the target, you see the grass or the trees there going to the right, and then you look like halfway down, it's going to the left, and it's like, and then you watch somebody shoot, and then it goes the exact opposite direction of wherever they aimed or wherever they thought it would go. And it's like,
Right.
I have no idea how to deal with this. Like that was seriously challenging. Luckily, the dots are. I mean, depending on how bad the wind is, like you can maybe get lucky. Like if you make a perfect shot,
Mhm.
but it's like, man, that was insane. But other than that, I would say the definitely like the uphills, just because of that tendency to drop low. Like not something I prepared for enough. Downhill wasn't really a problem, but the uphill was, yeah. You just have to like push way harder than you would maybe think. But yeah,
Did you?
See, I'm the complete opposite. I struggle downhill, and I don't struggle as much uphill.
really,
I agree with that.
really?
I always feel like the bow's leaving me where I can when it's
Oh.
uphill. I feel like it's kind of stacking into my hand, and I would much prefer to shoot uphill than downhill. That's just me,
Yeah.
though.
I get that. I guess, yeah.
It just feels like even though I'm pushing into it and trying to get aggressive with it, it still feels like it just wants to go away from me on the front hand. And the thing that I see most consistently with downhill shots versus uphill shots, my pin float downhill is not something that I've seen before. Whereas uphill, it's pretty standard to all my other shots. Whereas like
Just a racket
downhill,
shit.
it just
This
it's
is like
just
literally
like
the opposite for me.
it's like, oh
It's the
hey,
exact opposite. I don't. Maybe it's like a bow weight thing because I shoot like really heavy on the bars. But yeah, for me, it's like downhill. It's like feels like the bow's just keeping itself in full draw. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
What? How much weight?
yeah.
25 on the front right now and 26 on the back. But I'm still messing with that a lot with a 30 and a 15.
Damn, brother.
Okay.
Yep, it's the punching and the lean. The punching and the lean.
Got that lean in it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, honestly, just adding the lean, like those are probably the two biggest changes I made this year was the punching and then the lean because of the punching.
Mhm.
The lean itself, if I wasn't leaning, I'd have to take at least 4 ounces off the front, if not more, just baseline. But yeah, the lean for me is like it kind of like you were saying, like keeping things stacked. Like I would notice a little bit just kind of getting weak with the front hand with punching. Having like the lean, it's like kind of almost puts my wrist in front of this shoulder and then in front of my back shoulder, and it just feels like it's almost like a recurve kind of feel. Like
Mhm.
I can just punch it like a hooter shooter kind of thing. Just doop, I don't know.
No
But
kidding.
for me, it feels more consistent that way, and then I just push and pull really hard, so it hopefully doesn't come off the back wall when I punch it.
What did how'd you land on punching? Like, because and I know you're not supposed to do it, right? But sometimes shit
Yeah,
works really, really well, and some people have figured it out. Like, is that what it was?
I'm
kind
really
of, pretty
excited
much.
about this. I've been waiting to ask this question all night.
Yeah, kind of. So, I mean, honestly, I was a little bit. I kept like being a little bit jealous of like Kyle and Jimmy, and it
Yeah.
wasn't like necessarily like I could accept that like maybe it's not. Well, that was I guess kind of the problem. I couldn't accept that it was like, well, this is just isn't for me. I just can't do it. Like, just the fact like that made me a little bit annoyed about it. I'm like, man, how can I just not punch? Like, I would hit the trigger, and it was like the biggest lag between like where the dot was and me hitting the
Mm-hmm.
trigger, and it was just always terrible. And then it's funny, but I pretty much started archery, at least compound, with a hinge, just because I didn't ask first, so I just googled like, okay, what should I buy first? And everybody's like, don't get a index trigger. So I never really even shot an index trigger, hardly at
Mm-hmm.
all. Like maybe I don't know, 30 shots or whatever. And so I kept trying to punch with the thumb button. I was like, maybe I should try an index trigger. Like, or I was just like, I was literally in the shower when I was thinking about that. And I was like, maybe I should try an index trigger. And I tried it, and I was like, holy shit, I have way better reaction time with this. Like, I can punch him in the middle all day. It had its own issues, obviously, but and then eventually, after doing that for a while, then I went back to a thumb button. It was like I don't know, my thumb figured out what it needed to do now, and I don't know why, but it was definitely for me. It was a way bigger of a mental thing. Like all of a sudden, which I know is like so backwards of what most people feel like this, but all of the anxiety was gone. Almost all the anxiety was gone. I should say all, but it
That
was
makes
like
no
with
sense.
with pulling through. It's like most of my issues to get like I was shooting like when I was pulling through, that would have been 2 years or I guess it was technically last year in Vegas. Like I shot pretty good. Like I shot championship. I shot I think a 300 with 22 and then a 300 with 27. It's like I shot pretty good, but it wasn't enough to win anything, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
do anything like that. And it was mainly just fighting like a little bit of, I guess, target panic, but it was more like an anxiety of like being worried that it's not going to be in the middle, which I guess is target panic, and it would just keep
Yeah.
me from making smooth shots or just holding like nice, like my muscles would tense up and all this stuff. And with punching, it was like, oh, like I'm just never going to shoot the shot unless it's in the middle. Like this is so simple. Like I'll just wait till it's in the middle. And before that, like with the thumb trigger, when I couldn't punch with that, it was like, well, I can't do it because like the reaction time is too delayed or whatever I'm doing. With the index trigger, it was like instant, so it was no problem. And then I don't know, but it was just like no anxiety. It's like I'll just wait for it to be in the middle, and I'll punch it when it's in the middle. Like I just watch it be in the middle for a few seconds and then punch it. It was like I don't know why that worked for me, but that's definitely how my brain works.
I've heard Kyle say, I don't know what I'm.
That's a bad time.
Did he just go out for you too? Okay. All right, bye-bye, Elliot.
Yeah. I feel bad for
Anywho.
going on still, but
Oh, I'm sure he is. I'm sure he is. He's sitting there with Starlink, um, wondering why his stuff doesn't work, and it's probably because someone needed another satellite over Ukraine.
Dude, what
Hey,
is
there he goes.
happening?
It's because you use Starlink.
Bro,
Get
it's
some real internet, sir.
my internet has
2025.
never. Every time I look at it, it says connected, full bars. Everything's rocking and rolling. I think it's you.
You're the only one that's blurry out of the three of us, by the way.
Really, I'm the only one who's not blurry on my end.
That sounds like an ish
actually makes
you,
sense.
sir.
Whatever.
You were saying something about Kyle.
Oh, I was just saying, I've heard him once say, like, hey, I don't know why y'all are waiting around. If it's in the middle, send it. And I'm like, God, it's so simple, isn't it? Like, it made me want to try it. I can't really get myself to do it well, but, like, I almost wish I could. It seems almost voodoo to go, I'm gonna go in the shop and I'm not coming out until I'm a good puncher. That sounds like a terrible fucking idea mentally, you know? But boy, is it tempting sometimes.
I'll be honest, shooting, off the front and the backhand, like I even had one tonight where it was just parked in the middle, and my brain, it wasn't going, and I'm pulling and pushing, and it wasn't going, and my brain went, like tensed up for a second. It was just like, send it, go, go, go. And and I double clutched on it and I let it down. I was like, ooh, can't have that. But I definitely struggle with it in the sense of like that my brain will tell me to send it sometimes, and it's like it's subconscious, but it's like it's there. It's not like it's not near there, and I'm just trying to execute my shot while I'm holding in the middle. I run a lot of weight too. I'm running 24 and 14 out back.
That's a lot.
I
That's
like it like
crazy
that.
ratio. Yeah, I do. I mean, I do too. You almost like you fight against it with the back, like you just pull and it kind of evens itself out.
Well, I was running V bars all year until me and Taylor went up to Idaho, and I was telling him, I was like, I've been shooting better with one bar on the back, and he's like, then why did you bring your bar up the chairlift? And I was like, I don't know. I was gonna run it all day, and he's like, no, you're shooting better with it. Single bar, run it single bar, and that was my first event with it, single bar, and I've been shooting it since, and I really enjoyed the single bar, but I shot with my V bar back on yesterday. Parked. It was giving me a little bit of target panic. I was like, this thing is not leaving. Just send it.
Just become a puncher, dude.
There is definitely a part of me. It's deep back here where like I have all the front people, like Mark loves to give me a hard time, even though he can sit there and watch me. Definitely not. It's not punching, right? But he'll be like, "Oh, see, punch that one," and it's like, okay, yep, because that wasn't like my butterest shot I've ever shot. But there's definitely a deep, dark piece of me that sits there, and it's like, just do it, just do it, just send it. It's there, and I struggled with it with the clicker button this year. It started coming up out of nowhere. I'd start my shot, I'd start squeezing and pulling, and it'd be parked in the middle, and my brain was like, no, waiting, and send it.
Do you run a click in yours, Roland?
What was
do you
that?
run
Sorry.
Do you run the click in yours, or you have it out?
I don't. I considered doing that. I think I tried that for a little bit because I'm like, well, maybe it would be like better to punch, like you just wrap it, like your thumb just barely gets wrapped and it clicks, and then send it from there. But I don't like that. But to piggyback off what you said about like you get the urge to send it, I think that's why maybe my like where the difference is so since I started on a hinge, I never really got the just send it thing. I mean, I didn't shoot a hinge properly when I started out, but I didn't like punch it necessarily. I just rolled through it very, very fast, but it wasn't necessarily a punch. And so for me, I never got that. The target panic I always got was like, I just wouldn't move. Like I would just freeze up on a hinge or whatever. And I'd feel like, oh, I'm moving. And it's like, it's literally going nowhere. And it would take forever. And every muscle would tense up and just be worried that it's going to go off when it leaves. And then of course, that's exactly what's going to happen if you think that. But and so I think that's the reason it worked for me. And I think that's also the reason why, like, obviously hinge shooting works for most people is like most people have the exact opposite. Like you start on a trigger or whatever, and then, you have to fight that.
What is it with the whole shit ton of weight and punching? Why is that the secret sauce?
There's two things for me. One is obviously like it's a lot easier to punch if it just can be kind of calm. Like it doesn't necessarily have to sit in the middle, but like it needs to be like at least kind of predictable in the middle. And two is like the one thing you definitely have. Well, there's a couple things, but like one of the big things you, at least I have to fight with punching. It doesn't really look like Kyle has to deal with it, but is just like, the double clutching, like the physical anticipation of it, like not necessarily like a mental problem of it, but just like, maybe you come away from your face slightly or whatever it might be, or your bow hand moves or whatever. And so like just that weight definitely dampens any kind of like physical reaction. But yeah, and it definitely just holds better. And then for me, which something I kind of learned from listening to like podcasts with Kyle, I used to listen to podcasts all the time, but it's not anymore. But like he was talking about how when he gets under pressure, he also runs like super heavy, but he just pulls and pushes, and it's almost like that keeps it steady, and that works really well for me. I did that when I was just like shooting a surprise shot, but it's just like I shake like crazy when I'm nervous, and so it's like almost like you're shaking, like if you grab your hand, like you can kind of keep it from shaking. It's almost like the same kind of thing. Like you pull and push so hard that it kind of equals it out. I don't know.
Sure. Okay.
I definitely used that tonight myself because I was shaking against Caleb on like 2 or 3 of my arrows, and usually I come down into the 10, and I just call it, I park it in there. I just I settle my muscles. My mantra right now is settle and drive. And so I settle the pin
It's like
in
a
the
Chevy
middle,
commercial.
and then I start driving that bow towards that target. And I had to actually sit there and okay, it's not stopping at all. And I just was like, I need to increase pressure in both directions. And I went and pulled and pushed, thumb off the button, pulled and pushed, and it just went from going like this to,
Yeah.
and then it's all honed in. And then so I definitely tried that tonight, and I feel like it worked in that, who knows, new shit syndrome.
Yeah.
Yep. No, I agree. I mean, like I especially I mean, a lot of people when they get nervous, they maybe add more pressure than they normally do to stuff, but I don't. I feel like it's almost like less, and it's just since the muscles are shaking, and they almost I almost get the weak knee thing, but in my arms sometimes. So it's
Mhm.
they're kind of they're jittery and they're kind of going in and out of I guess activation. And so if you just push harder or pull harder, it's it just keeps them constantly activated. And so it's it's still not holding that good, but it's better than the alternative of it, doing like that. It's more of
Yeah.
jittery in the middle, more you can deal with.
Have you seen that clip? I think Matthias posted, and it was somehow he got a really nice view through his scope, and it was what
Mhm.
an archer sees, and it's just fucking doesn't move, and he breaks a shot. Did
Yeah.
that look crazy to you, or does yours look similar to that? Because mine does not look. Go ahead.
I'm not gonna lie, when I saw that, I was like, I thought it'd be better. I'm not gonna lie, I thought
No
Matthias's would
shit.
be better. I really did. It depends on the day, definitely.
Sure.
But and I guess also it's a little bit different for him because he is doing a surprise shot. It just needs to be kind of calmly around the middle. And ideally mine is a little bit like that, but I do try to get to kind of stop for at least a second or two, at
No
pretty
kidding.
well. Where
I need to add some more
not
weight then.
stop is not really possible, but
Yeah.
it's I would say it depends on the day, but it can definitely I thought his was gonna be insane. I thought his was gonna be
Dude,
insane.
I saw that and I
It's
went, well,
obviously
no
good.
shit, he shoots so good.
Yeah, it's obviously really good. Yeah, I wonder if what Bodie's would look like or something like that. Which maybe
Yeah.
his wouldn't be that good either because he's he doesn't shoot crazy heavy setup or anything.
You know
so.
what? If that was whatever fucking meta glasses or whatever the hell he used to do that, I would love to watch every Vegas shooter. I'd love to just see Paige and you and Bodie and all of them. I've just out of sheer curiosity because I thought that was interesting
cool.
as fuck.
That
That
would
not
be really
just
cool.
Yeah. I would just like to know that. Well, it was just nice to see that view is attainable because I have not had a bow hold like that ever, but I've never ran a whole bunch of weight either. So maybe that's the ticket.
I think he runs 16 on the front or something like that. At least at one point he did. I don't. Yeah, but that
Elliot's
would
not
be
strong
cool.
enough for that.
No.
Yeah. Wait, what do you run on the front?
I think right now I'm at. Gosh, I think I'm 12 on the front, 16 on the back, and that's a 33 and a 15.
That's not too bad at all. I mean, yeah,
it's more than
pretty heavy for Elliot.
It is, honestly. Yeah. When I shot my best scores at Reading and shit, I was running 5 ounces on the front. I mean, very light.
Yesterday, me and Jesse got together at the shop and we shot for a couple hours, and he was shooting his hinge, and I said, just try one of these buttons, just see if you can even shoot a button, because now Jesse's one of our young guys. I grabbed him for an outlaw partner for 2024. I met him at the end of 2023, and he was just punching. I think it was a Cobra release.
Oh God.
Something that you look at and you're like, that probably gonna break on you. And I just kind of was like, for someone who just started shooting, I think he could, become a good shooter. And so I took him out for Outlaws. I put him on the hinge immediately, and he started doing really well. And he got, and then he got a title. His Invicta was shooting like 248 feet per second with the DCX cams. Was shooting super slow for him. He doesn't have a long draw. He's like standard 28 and a half. And so I was like, we need to get you a faster bow. Any bobs you got going on, it's affecting your shot. And he got the title, and he started shooting that really well. And then we went to Fresno, which is the shoot that happens the weekend before Reading. And he shot, he shot 12 points down on day one. And we went into day two, and I think me and Taylor were tied at one. No, because I shot 3 down. So I was 4 down, and so I was like, look, we're fine. We hadn't used a single mulligan or a handicap that he had. And I was like, don't worry about that. Just shoot your shot. And I made a joke at the beginning of the day. I was like, just so you know, if you clean today, you're going to be a 1. And you're going to need a new partner for next year. And sure enough, we get through the first 14 targets, and like target 14 for that day was the elephant, the 101, and 101 yards. And he stones it, and I just turned to him, and I'm like, he literally turns to me and he goes, "What do we do?" And I was like, look, finish out the day. We got another 5 targets left. Just finish it. Get it done. All the next ones are chip shots. It's fine. And he ended up cleaning out day 2 and shot a 1308 out of 1320. And then fast forward to the next weekend, he shoots 1525 at Reading and turns himself into a 0. And we were tied for first place in the Outlaws that year. And so, like, we're going into the final round. We have no handicaps to deal with. And I'm like, okay, we're playing from keeps from target number 1. But he really focused on learning how to shoot the hinge. And I stuck that button in his hand yesterday.
I was wondering if you were going to come back to the topic here. I was wondering where the hell were we fucking going?
Hey man, I like Jesse. I get a little starstruck every once in a while.
I'm glad you wheeled it back in, because I was like, I think we lost him. I don't know if we're going to talk about punching anymore. I think
I had to actually, like,
you prefaced the shit out of it. Yeah, I get it.
While I was talking, I had to actually remind myself. Wait, what were we talking about? Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
What the fuck? Anyway,
so that's my problem. I am the worst storyteller because I start going down rabbit hole after rabbit hole.
We'll come up with a trigger word that I can spit out. That'll
pineapple.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, this pineapple tastes really good. Or I don't know. Anyways.
No, I'm just gonna yell it.
But I put the thumb button in his hand, and he's like, "Dude, it is moving in and out of the yellow. Like, I can't." And I was like, "You need more weight. And if you're going to shoot the button." And so he's like, "I don't have any more weight on me." And he's running like 18, 20 ounces out back. And I was like, bleed that from the back to the front. You're shooting a 1-2, make it closer to a 1-1. And then he came tonight. He's been on it for 1 day, and he shot a 322. So I think there is something to do with being able to park that pin, that for some people, like for me with the hinge, like if it doesn't stay in the 10, I can't execute. I freeze.
Yep.
And whereas with the button, because I can park the pin with the button, I can start executing and pushing and pulling through the shot. Yeah. And I think if you have that mental block of it's moving out of the 10 and not coming back, whereas I think with, like, say a Bodie, it stays inside that 10 and just jams around, because that's what it does for Caleb. It just sits there and goes and buzzes around, but it's always inside. So he's just executing a shot, and it's going to be inside of that X somewhere. And for my brain, I needed to stop in order for me to be able to start executing. My brain needs the minimal movement in order to be able to execute the bow.
Yeah,
That's how mine works.
yeah, and it's funny. I mean, that I think that works for like if you can shoot a hinge good. A lot of people that go to a button, it's like it just tightens everything up. Like I mean, you have literally less movement, but yeah, it's just like you can't vary as much with stuff. Like it won't affect stuff as much. But for me, it's the same way. I mean, like if I was to shoot a surprise shot, like it would need to hold because I'll shoot it. I'll shoot like a hinge every once in a while, but like it'll need to hold like relatively in the 10 at least. But that's the funny thing, like. I remember hearing the Bodie doing the interviews like, oh, it was bouncing like from red to red. It's like, all right, I get on like maybe a couple shots he was doing that, but I know your shit ain't doing that most of the time. There's no way.
Bullshit.
Yeah, and just all these people. I mean, like that is. I mean, I think that is probably the biggest thing that sets people apart. Like in terms of that, like Chance back in the day, it's gonna be pretty freaking easy to execute a shot when it just doesn't leave the middle. It's like, well, what am I worried about? Like, I guess I'll just relax my hand or something, and eventually it'll go off. Like, yeah, I mean, if it parks in the middle, what's to worry about? I don't know.
Yeah.
What is your biggest hang up?
With the hand, yeah.
What is your biggest hang up? I know mine, for example, mine personally, I like to see what I'm aiming at. So I'll go like this and peek it down.
There you are.
Or peek it out to the side.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Pow!
Oh, what shooting your style being command punch shooter, what is like the hang up that you experience? What is the pin float that is the negative pin float that you see happen?
So for me, there's two things. Probably the biggest thing is under like Vegas kind of pressure, like where if you miss, you're out kind of thing. Like not for Lancaster or anything like that, but just for Vegas or indoor nationals and stuff like that, it is definitely holding off the spot, which I didn't have at the beginning of punching, and then all of a sudden, of course, it decided to develop. But it would either usually what it would happen is I'd get it in the middle, like that wouldn't be a problem, and then it would dip, it would just start dipping down, and then I just couldn't get it back up. And then I definitely got really bad with just throwing it up and hitting it. And the main reason I got bad at it is because it worked like a lot. It worked a lot, and I don't know why it works, but I've gotten definitely a lot better at that. That was my biggest hang up. The main thing, like for me to fix that was just like once it gets to the middle, like we are pushing and pulling like a motherfucker. This thing is not going to drop past the middle. Like for a little bit, which I would definitely prefer this over the below it. It kind of held like on the left side or something like that, and it's swinging. That was way easier to deal with. But you don't have to lift it up. You just kind of like, But the other thing would have been, which is really goofy because you wouldn't think, I guess this would be an issue, but like I am not good at punching like a drive-by kind of thing. Like if it's windy, it actually you should. It's like, oh, I'm a puncher. Like this should be easy. Like I'm not used to, and I can't. I mean, I can kind of deal with it now. I got better because I started doing the FIDA stuff. But it's like the whole thing when I developed my punching was like, oh, I would just let it like kind of sit around the middle, and then it would sit really good in the middle just because I wasn't worried about it leaving. Like I was like, oh, well, if it leaves, I'll just wait until it comes back and then punch it after it sits there for a few seconds. But with the wind stuff, it's like I don't like if I punch it while it's going through, like I'm worried that I'm gonna like get it on the outswing or whatever. But I don't know but definitely the hold low was probably the biggest deal for me.
Okay, so it's a pretty common theme.
Yeah.
Do you put a lot of time into like do you tiller tune or anything?
Yep.
Oh, really?
With, Taylor Main. Well, a few years ago I shot Bowtech, and then I saw all the Paige Pierce videos and stuff like that. So I did a little bit back then, and I definitely feel like it helped. But it was like maybe a turn and a half. When I got the Hoyt I'm shooting now, the concept, and I guess I should say particularly the 40 because I shot a 37 briefly, and I didn't feel like I really needed to at all. But I saw Taylor, like I had like a weird. I thought it shot good compared to the title, but it had like a weird, just random, like sharp dip, like, and I couldn't get it out. Like, it doesn't matter how like high I raised the loop, it would just keep doing it. And then, I started asking people around, and then I saw Taylor's was like an unbelievable amount of turns out of the top, and I asked him about it, and he said, it was just that's just what aimed better on that. So I was like, all right, well, let me try. and that took it out like pretty much completely. Like
Really?
I had to take a lot of turns out, but
What's a lot?
I
Like two,
I think I
4?
was at 4 or 5, but then now
Wow.
I had 65-pound limbs. There's a guy at the shop with a 60-pound one, and then I was like, hey, do you want to just like try to like swap the limbs around? So I have his 60-pound limbs on my top limbs, and then 65s on the bottom, and they're even tiller right now, and it aims to me basically the same as having like 4 or 5 turns out of the top,
Oh,
but
really?
and I don't know what the deal is with that. I do remember like, I mean, you guys have probably heard this story because I think if you have talked to Taylor about the tiller tuning, you probably heard this. But like the Levi back in the day story with the 60
Oh,
pound limbs
yeah.
on top, 70 on bottom, and it was
Yep.
like, well, I mean, I guess maybe there's something to it. You might as well try it. Like, I don't know, still don't. I can't wrap my brain around why that works. I know like the title, I didn't really feel like I had to do any of that, and I think that makes sense just because the limbs, like parallel, and then these are way
Mm-hmm.
more forward facing. So you would think that maybe they'd have more effect, but I still don't really understand why it works the way it does. But what is your guys' like experience with that?
I've not gone that far. Maybe 'cause I feel like I've only dabbled a little bit, and it was after I heard Taylor talk about it. And I might have gone at most 2 turns, and maybe that just wasn't enough or something. Um, and I'm always really like leery about, is this just a placebo? Like, do I actually think this is doing anything? It's hard to
For sure.
differentiate, unless you have
Hmm.
a lot of time unless you just like go, hey, this week I'm running it like this regardless. But I don't have the
100%.
discipline or the time for that. So I haven't fucked with it much, but I was curious if, you were critical on like loop height or tiller tuning or any of that.
Yeah. What bow do you shoot again? I'm sorry, I don't know.
Gen 2 Reckoning.
Oh, okay. Yeah. 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 All right. Like I said so when I shot the Reckoning, I shot the Gen 2 Reckoning for a little bit too, but it was on the Gen 1 that I really played with the tiller, but it
Mm-hmm.
was not much. It was maybe a turn and a half, which on those basically is nothing because they have a fine thread.
Mm-hmm.
But the Hoyt was the first one I really ever noticed anything where I needed to do that. But you're 100. I agree with you on the placebo thing. It's like, and even I messaged Taylor about this. Is like, how do I know? Because normally I would just move the loop height, and it's like, how do
Yeah.
I know what is the loop height and what's the tiller? Like, where do I stop with the tiller and where do I start with the loop height? Like, I and even that still doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, this is the first bow I felt like I just had a problem that I didn't know how to fix, and I almost wonder because I shot PSE a year or two ago. I almost wonder if those I probably would have benefited from it a lot because
Mm-hmm.
when I went from the Supra to the title, it was like night and day. It was like, oh my god, this thing aims so calm. Like it just that was the main thing for me. It just felt like the Supra didn't aim bad. It was just not. It was like very sharp and aggressive, and like the title
Mm-hmm.
was just like super calm. And I think it has to do mostly with the limb angle, but I don't know.
Limb geometry.
And so I would imagine if I would have played with tiller more on the Supra, I would have noticed, it would have probably got a lot better, but it's just way more touchy to stuff like that. But yeah,
Sure.
I mean, if you didn't notice much from, 2 turns, like you probably don't even need it. Like, I don't know that most bows need it necessarily, and I don't know
Mm-hmm.
why this bow does. Like, I don't know what in the design maybe is like this.
So
And I guess I'd say, sorry, I'm rambling, but
no.
like me and Taylor feel like we need to do this. I don't know actually really many other Hoyt shooters, at least that it's obvious. Like, Mike
Mm-hmm.
might have 60-pound limbs on his top and 65s on the bottom, and we don't know. Like, they might not
Sure.
necessarily want to say that, but
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know. It could be something weird we're doing or whatever. I don't know.
So
I know
you're
Taylor's
currently,
doing that
yeah,
with the higher pound limbs.
Oh,
Yeah.
yep.
not just tiller, like actually 60s and 65s.
Yeah, he
I
tried it. I
yeah.
remember we were messaging about it. He was trying it. At least it was been a while since I messaged him about this, but he was saying that he tried it and he said it was good, but he was just like, I know how many turns I need out of the tiller, so I'm just gonna go back to that because it was aiming good. But I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what he's doing now.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know exactly. I wonder, so based on what you said, did you try anything with the title when it came to tiller and then also changing because obviously, as everyone knows, on the title, the limbs don't change, the mod changes.
Mm-hmm.
Did you try that at all?
I tried. I think about at least a turn both ways, and I didn't notice. I mean, I noticed stuff, but it was more of like I was pretty sure it was a placebo thing because it would be like for an end or two, and it's like, it was probably just because it was different. Maybe I'm doing something like it feels better because it's just different kind of thing. But
Yeah.
I definitely didn't notice. I felt like it was a pretty drastic change, and like I said, I don't know why, but on the Hoyt, like it would aim good, but it would just do like this weird, super sharp dip, and it didn't matter how high I had to loop; it would just do it. And then I just started cranking out of the top, and it seemed like it got better, and it was like I just kept going, and I was like, man, am I really gonna take 4 turns out of this freaking top limb? And I just did it, and it was like this is better still, like, and it's like the only reason I tried that was because Taylor's just like literally like I don't even know how many turns he has at the top. It looks like 8. I don't know. It looks like so.
Oh
much.
man.
But yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
I'm kind of considering just to try it, throw in, say, a 65-pound mod into the bottom on the Matthews and
I didn't
see
even
at
think
what
about
kind
that.
of pull, what
Oh
kind
yeah,
of
that'd
hold
be a
that
pretty
gives.
easy swap.
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, I would assume that would work. The timing you would think would stay the same, but yeah, I never thought about. I get what you mean now because that's what you're trying to say. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know. That would be interesting. That would be really interesting to know.
I just
Hmm.
don't know if I have the time to do it.
Yeah,
My bow is shooting just fine, and I might just go and screw it up in the process of doing it.
that's the thing. And like I said, I don't know that many bows need it, and the title especially. Like I think just because of that limb angle, it doesn't affect it near as much, or you don't notice it at least.
The thing
I
that I think specifically on the title that benefits it like the most, and this is what I think, and from what I've talked to say, like Mike, our shop owner, and stuff like that, the two things that he pointed out was the limb pocket size and the thinness of the limbs, and the fact that the thinner the limb, the more efficient the limb. Um, and therefore it doesn't require as aggressive of a smash to create the energy downrange.
yeah.
Is at least how it's been portrayed to me, and that's why something that he said to me was, for the longest time, the Matthews Prima was the most efficient bow for the poundage on the market because of how thin those limbs were. And then they came out with the title and the lift and everything, and the fact that they were able to space out that pocket in such a drastic way actually helps benefit the hold because you're displacing it at a wider surface area,
Makes
and
sense.
the hold is spread out on a wider area. I'm not an engineer. I just know what
We know.
Me neither.
yeah. I know that the title shoots well for me, so I shoot the title. So.
It aims good. Like going from that super to that, I thought which I still kind of think it matters a lot from the super to the title is just that riser length. I think that does help a lot. I don't 100% get why, but yeah, it aims pretty damn good and it shoots really good.
So you're shooting the Hoyt now. Have you done it? Are outside of the tiller tuning, are there any other crazy things that you're doing? Like I've heard some people are running specifically for timing the bottom cam first, and I know, for example, on my title, I can almost tell when my bow's out of time based on the float.
Yeah.
Um, the moment I start pulling, if it starts diving, it's almost always the bottom cams first. And I've started fiddling with that and trying to get it to hold its time perfectly, and get it to where it's dead even, not just, I'm, in 16th of an inch first on top, because I can even see it on top or bottom. Are you seeing any of that with the concept? And if so, how are you addressing that?
Yep, I definitely did some different stuff, but the title, I definitely agree with you. Like it needs to be pretty damn close in time, like or perfect, like almost dead nuts. I like the Conquest little in time things. Those are really nice, but obviously like a D loop or whatever works too. But
The only thing I found with the D loop is it compresses over time, and therefore
Yeah, and it's
I
not
need
very
to throw another
precise,
one.
but yeah. But the title I almost did like at some points a tiny bit bottom ahead because I would if I dipped, usually it was a weak shot anyway, so I'd creep a little bit and then it would go high. But that's but the
Hedge your bets.
concept, yeah, the concept. I like it pretty close in time too, but it definitely doesn't matter near as much. But I definitely did like. I haven't seen anybody else do this. I've hit up a few people about this now, but I don't think anybody except for just the other guy I swapped the limbs with here likes this. But let me move my shoulder a bit. I this was the main thing I thought was maybe making this bow feel weird, switching from the title, was the flat stops, and they're kind of goofy in that like they're not actually perfectly flat, like they're slightly round. So it almost felt like when you'd hit the back wall, it would be kind of squishy, and then when you pulled into it, it got like exponentially hard, and it just would like jitter and like jump and do weird stuff. And I was like, all right, well, let me like. I actually didn't think this would solve my problems with it, but I feel like it really did. All I did was basically like I don't know how well you can see this, but like I put some putty on the end. Some of that was for holding weight. Maybe I can get it to focus better. Some of that was for holding weight, but it's just round. It looks really big, but the contact point's like fairly shallow. But it's basically just like a title, like a normal kind of draw stop. And I feel like that made it aim way better personally. But and it just felt like it was more linear to pull into.
That's just some putty?
Yeah, it's JB Weld steel stick is what's called.
Oh,
so
no shit.
Sanded down. I guess I don't know how well you can see it, but I just sanded down like the actual. Yeah, this is not getting in focus, but sanded down like the surface of the stop, and then just stuck some putty on there. And then I don't have them in arm's reach, but I did a few different ones. So this one is like in the middle of the stop. I did some on this side of the stop, and then on some on the far side. The inside, and obviously I flipped them around too because you can do that with these, but. This one and then the far out were by far the best in my opinion. Like this was way too squishy, but those two feel really good. And it's weird because even though this is a flat stop, when I have the putty on the one that's on the outside, I think it feels stiffer than just the flat stop.
Really?
But I don't know. But
so you have that on top and bottom, yeah?
Yeah. Yep.
How did you get the hump and shit like the right diameter or same size?
Again, Picasso, man. It was pretty. I just had them both next to me, and I tried to work fast, but I just kind of like looked to try to make it level, and then like kind of put them next to each other to like make sure they were even and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I figured I was gonna have to sand them down, but like when I first put this first set on my bow, I was like, oh, it's like maybe like one big in time away. Like I'm not gonna fucking sand it. I'm gonna stick it in there. But then I told Francisco Cantu about it. Like I was like, you should try this. And then he reached out to George Gizmos, and then he made some kind of similar things, and those felt pretty good. I kind of still liked the putty more, and I'm not sure why, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think it's weird to me that nobody else, which I wonder, like, if you had Mike or somebody try that, if you would prefer that. But it's like, man, I feel like it aimed so much better. Francisco did not like it, by the way.
Oh, really?
For context, he said he liked the way it felt, but he did not like the way it aimed. So,
I love Cisco. He's a great guy. Yeah, he's got one of my pillows at his house. So
yeah, nice.
You left a pillow at his house?
No. I left a pillow at Sportsman's in Idaho, and he was kind enough to go get it, and I have yet to retrieve it.
Why were you sleeping at Sportsman's?
Hey, man. Got to get tagged somehow.
Oh, shit.
Is that actually why?
Yeah.
Holy shit. I didn't realize it was a thing.
Yeah, no, I drove.
Outside, like Black Friday?
Yeah, every year for the last 4 years, I drive up there on the night before tags get released. I set my chair out front of the game office, and I sleep in my truck and wake up at 3 and 4 in the morning, make some coffee in the bed of the truck, and then get my tags.
Damn, I didn't actually realize it was like that. I'm not a big hunter, by the way, so I wouldn't know stuff like that. But yeah, that's crazy.
That's just the way Idaho was. It's no longer that way. But yeah,
it's
that
a draw
was
now.
John was skipping all the bullshit and going straight to the source, 9 hours away. But it's effective.
Yeah. Effective, cost money, but
Yeah.
you get your tags. And but yeah, I left a chair, a blanket, and a pillow at the
Just a regular
just
hobo
left.
camp left right on the side of the
Yep.
road.
Left it, and I was halfway home, and I was like, "Hey, Cisco, can you go by
Get all
and
my
pick up my
shit."
stuff?" Oh man, where were we? I think it was Reading. He's like, "Dude, I still have your pillow at my house." I was like,
Keep
"Yeah,
it.
I know. I'll get that
Be
from you
back next
someday."
year.
Oh man, but
I like that,
yeah,
dude. I like that you got some super one-off custom shit. Just like the headband.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
it goes
That-
with the style.
Yeah, exactly. That's all that started from like the title. I hate that grip. It is the worst shit of all time. Mainly the shelf, I should say. I mean the grip, if without side plates, I really hate it too, but like mainly the shelf. Like I felt like there was a massive gap on my thumb side. Like I don't have my title here, but there's just a massive gap, and I saw a few people try it, and then I saw Stefan win Reading with it, and I was like, all right, I gotta try this shit. And
Mhm.
it was like, why didn't I do this earlier? I mean, I know why I didn't do it earlier because like resale value just goes bye, but like it's so much better. Like the hand just fits like a glove, which I don't feel like I have to do as much.
Because it's
on the hoist.
permanent after that point, right?
Oh well, you can get it off. It just won't look good. I mean, you gotta
Yeah.
paint it again or something.
It's gonna
But
mess your whole finish up.
yeah, I need to do it on the Hoyt, but I don't. I definitely don't need. I won't need near as much putty on the Hoyt as I did the Matthews. But that
Have
was
you
kind of what
used
started.
shoe glue before?
I have it. When I did use it, it was like still kind of flexible, so I didn't like that part of it. But that was the only
Hmm.
reason.
I built up a super grip once, like really real high wrist, and that shit, like it got hard as a freaking rock. I rolled like the fuck did I roll on it, like a golf ball or something, and gave it like a nice stippled texture. It actually turned out really good, and I got sick of it, and it took some doing, but it popped right off and it cleaned up pretty nice.
Yeah, that's pretty much that's how this stuff does too. Just like you just kind of try to get under it, and then it just chips off at some point.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the groove underneath the title on your thumb side?
Yep, yeah, it's kind of hard, for me to point this, but yeah, it was literally on the thumb side, and then I did make a shelf too. I could probably send a picture of it.
So you're adding material underneath the shelf. Okay.
Yep, and yeah, I did it pretty like a little bit more than maybe what Stefan did, like contouring. Like I stuck the putty under there, and then I would just jam my thumb up under there while it was still like kind of halfway cured, not cured, but you know what I mean, halfway
Yeah.
set, I guess. And then just try to get like an indentation, and it is literally basically like a glove. Like it fits like the ridges of my
I
thumb
bet
and
that's
stuff.
nice as hell, actually.
Oh yeah. And I've always been, and I still like grip tape. I've always been a grip tape person, but like I literally didn't need it after that. It was like insane because it's like it just slides. It can't really slide
Yeah.
anymore. Like it has
You're
nowhere to
home.
go. It is home. It's like
I'll be damned.
unbelievable. But yeah, that just
Man,
got me
maybe I
on the
need to
putty
try
train
that.
with everything.
There's two main topics that I wanted to discuss with you. You did a lot of arrow training or arrow work
test thing.
earlier
Yeah.
in tech stuff with the arrow, and then just a little bit more on the from process shooting to command shooting. As you know, I hit you up earlier this year because I had a student who's definitely going to listen to this and needs to take note of it. She could not break the command on her shooting. She could not execute a shot with tension. It was just punch. Just could not get rid of it. And I put her on the clicker button and I said, "You're not allowed to shoot the arrow until that you hit that click. You need to hit the click, stop, then go in and try and make a shot." And it definitely helped. For someone who says, hey, like you did, I want to learn how to do this thing properly. What are the steps that you would recommend? And maybe she shouldn't listen to this because she's finally shooting really good
Oh
with
yeah, then.
But you told me that, hey, because I asked you, I said, hey, I got this student that is struggling with command shooting. What do I need a teacher, because I can't seem to break through on anything. And you said, well, the part of punching that you need to have is you also need to have the process as well.
Mhm.
If I don't, you said that to me, and it kind of resonated as like, okay, so it's not just the pins in the middle, let's go. There's some steps alongside of that. So as someone who's coming in and maybe wants to try and make this change, what are the things that you would point to them to address or work towards right off the bat?
For sure. And I mean, obviously, most people, probably not a good idea to start punching just because it seems like most people don't end up doing well with it. But yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, if you're going to punch, I think Kyle has said this actually, but like, if you're gonna punch, you should probably, it might even been Tim, you should learn how to shoot like really well on a surprise shot first. I don't know that I could have just gone straight into punching, but yeah, if you're gonna punch well, you have to have some sort of a process. It can't just be as simple as dot hits the middle, I punch the trigger, just because I mean, usually that just goes into where like you can't actually get to the middle, you fire it or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, you come from the top, or a lot of people do from the bottom or whatever, bow hunters, but like for me, it was definitely, and it's a similar but very different process at the same time. It took me a long time to figure out like what am I supposed to do, because I kind of followed a little bit the Joel thing at the end of my surprise shooting. We're like, all right, you say something in your head, that's your focus on through the shot, like pull or whatever it might be, and then it's like, well, what do I do with punching? Like, do I just say aim, or like what am I actually supposed to be focusing on? So I did
Now.
pull. Yeah, pretty much. I did pull, a little bit, and that helps a little bit, but it's like, where do you actually put your concentration and all that stuff? And then also it's just mainly those, like you said, those steps. You have to have some sort of a break between get it in the middle, and then that doesn't mean punch it. Getting in the middle does not mean punch it. Like, I have to have it sit there at least like 3 seconds before I want to punch it, just because I don't want to shortcut it to where it's getting to that point. Um, I'm still working on that myself. Not that part, but like I'm still working on like more of a cleaner, I guess, punch kind of thing. Um, but for me, it is mainly thinking about the pulling and like making sure I'm getting in my back. I had a big issue with I felt like I'm pulling and stuff, but I wasn't actually like really transferring. I was just kind of pulling with my arm, and I would have a lot of those like come away from the face kind of things. So for me, the main checklist is like I get it in the middle, I get my thumb on the barrel, I kind of transfer into my back, and then I just kind of watch it sit there for at least a few seconds. And I kind of have like I don't really say words in my head for this part, but it's just like a go or no go. Like I have to watch it be in a somewhat repeatable pattern before I even consider like, okay, well, we're going to shoot it, or we're going to shoot it pretty soon kind of thing. And then as soon as it's like, all right, it's like pretty well in the 10, it's floating around the X, it's calm. It's not like still jumping around like I maybe set up something in my form wrong. Then after that, it's like, okay, it's holding pretty good. Now we're going to transfer into like, I'm not really focused on anything necessarily. It's more of just like, all right, the subconscious is going to punch it when it's like as middle as I can make it kind of thing. Like, but for me, it's definitely that separation of just, it has to be in the middle for at least a few seconds. It has to be floating kind of calmly. I have to be actually pulling and like, don't let that go. Cause that's usually like, the pre-shot reaction of like, you're about to punch it. So you go, you drop your bow arm, or you like come off the wall or whatever. Like it has to be a continual pull. But I don't know. Punching is, I think it's easier for me, but it's also way harder. I don't know. It's stupid.
To hear you talk about it, it wouldn't even, if I had to come in 30 seconds ago, I would not think you were talking about punching. Like it's still a very calculated shot. It's not a hip shot like most people consider punching to be, a drive-by.
I think punching is just more fun to say than command shooting.
For sure. Yeah. Well, yeah, I kind of hate when people are like, oh, I'm not a puncher, I'm a command shooter. It's like, oh, are you now? No, you fucking hit the thing, man. We all hit it.
That's the difference.
It's the same thing. Yeah. Just trying
So,
to make it sound nice.
Is there anything that you do? So I don't know. Maybe you get in some times where you're struggling with the command, with the punching, and I think you've earned the right to say that I command the shot, because there's obviously some process around there. It sounds like the process for you is setting up the form. And
Oh, for sure.
if the form's set and I see what I want to see, I can send it. And
Yeah.
if those things don't align, then I'm not sending that arrow. So
Yep.
is there times where like maybe you get a little bit actually punchy, and if so, how do you address that? Are there training things, or like, do you go into aiming drills? What do you do to kind of alleviate some of that, as some people would say, like anxiety around the punch, the actual execution of the
Mhm.
shot?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about two things there. One is like you mentioned the like the form thing. I think the reason that matters so much with the punching is just because of how inconsistent that break is. Like especially if you do come off the wall, like any kind of puncher is gonna do some sort of pre-ignition movement, as Joel called it, or whatever you want to call it. But
Yeah.
like if I set that form, especially like I said with the recurve way, like I have my shoulders all stacked and everything like that. Even if that does happen, if I'm at that spot at least it has like a pretty minimal amount of things it can do, especially if I'm in my back. Like the hand is still going to kind of go this way, even if it comes off, it's going to kind of go forward, but it's still kind of going in that way. But and then definitely with my bow arm, like the way I have it stacked. But as far as like the struggling part, um, I really like aiming drills. The easy way, like if I'm getting a little stupid with it or like not following a process, is just go back to a hinge or something where it's like to me it's like, oh, of course I have a process on a hinge. Like I've never had a problem with punching a hinge. If you had a problem with that, that would make that harder, I guess. But other than that, I would go back to aiming drills. When I did do a surprise shot and I had target panic with that, that's what I personally benefited from the most was aiming drills, which I think makes sense considering like what I said I had a problem with was like I was worried about it leaving the middle. So like the aiming drills kind of teaches you a little bit like, all right, like it can float around, like it's fine. You don't have to shoot it like when it's in the middle. And it a lot of times like after you do aiming drills for a little bit, it makes you strong as fuck. Like you actually start to aim like crazy good comparatively. And then it's like it's obviously easier if you're aiming good, to shoot better. But for me, those are the main two things. Something also which is kind of neat on this, like you have the training aid thing. I'll do like I call it dry fire drills. You hate it. I do dry fire drills.
No, no,
And
I'm shaking my head at Elliot.
oh, just the disconnect.
Dude, I've had my fucking internet thing up the whole time, and every time it's done this, it still says connected, so I don't know how it's happening. I've never lost connection, had to reconnect. Anyway, what were you saying?
No, you're
Yeah,
good.
dry
The
fire
other
drills.
thing,
Oh.
yeah, I call it dry fire drills, which is not a good name for it, but I just put the pin in here and then I have an arrow in and everything, but I'll just punch
Well,
it. And usually the first few times, if I haven't done it in a while, I'll flinch every shot. Like it'll, after I punch it, but I kind of dull that reaction a little bit. And it also it's the same thing for me as like the aiming drill. It just kind of calms you to the whole kind of process. But
now that thing that you were just talking about, are you talking about kind of like that brace for impact moment where like that tenseness?
yeah, yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just that little
All right.
inch. Or
Hold
whatever you
that
call it.
release up again. What'd you do there? You took out. You
The
took
piston.
out the no
The
no no
wing.
the other the hook.
The barrel?
Show the
Oh
hook.
no, the hook. Yeah. Yeah,
What?
that's no real reason other than just like I'm not a hunter, so like I don't need to hang there. It's kind of annoying. I just like to, and I kind of thought that thing was cutting up my D loop. I don't know if it actually was, but yeah, I just
No,
took it
I
out
got
of
you.
there.
I got you.
You didn't know that was
They're kind of-
removable?
Huh?
Kind of a pain to get out, but yeah.
No, I did not know it was removable,
Mhm.
and I was just wondering if he was onto something. Um,
If it doesn't
What-
cut his
so
D-loop,
have you-
that's a pretty good thing.
yeah, for sure. What have you tried one of those like shoot offs or SX3s that have, according to Bodie and Joel, they have the fastest lock time?
Is that what it was with them, or that's what their kind of opinion is on him, like why they like him?
Yeah. So
Lock time?
apparently, maybe that's not the right term. I thought that's.
I've
what
heard
is.
of it, but
I
I don't
think
know
I
what
get
it
what you mean.
means.
The lock time, the way, maybe I'm not using the right term, but the lock time is it fired the time that it opens. between the fire and the actual opening is the fastest with the SX3 and the shoot off.
Probably.
And so that's, you hear
Definitely.
Bodie talking about it, and he's like, with the SX3, that lock time being just a touch faster, it helps me keep it in the X and things like that. And as a puncher, I'm just curious if you had fiddled with them at all.
I would be really interested to try for that. I didn't realize for that reason. I just thought they felt a little bit more comfortable in the hand, but that would be really interesting to try.
The head is kind of angled. The head and the jaw are angled forward. They're not like 90 degrees to your knuckles or something like that. They're on like a 45-degree forward to the target. So yeah, all that thing's got to do is open up that much, and your D loop is gone. So yeah, it does make sense in that regard. I never even thought about it.
If you want, I have a shoot off in medium. As long as I don't see it on Facebook, you're more than welcome. I'll send it out to you. I don't care. Just try it and tell me what you think. As long as
it too, but I'm assuming you want to keep it.
I'm not in any rush.
Sell it to him. You don't need 15 releases, John.
That is.
I'm building up my 401k of releases, but no, honestly, if you want to try it, and I'm more than happy to send it out to you to give it a try and see if, like I said, it might not fit your hand properly. I got little dainty, according to Domagoy, I have little dainty girl fingers. So.
I did see that clip.
Oh, it's funny.
Oh man, but
I'm gonna try punching tomorrow with my XS3.
Absolutely. I'm not gonna miss it, dude. I got so many of them right now. It's not like I'm using it. I got when I shoot the shoot off, I'm typically shooting the large. It just fits in my hand a little bit better, and it's not even that my hands the medium small or anything like that. I like to get really relaxed with my hands, and that cut with my backhand, and that comes from shooting a hinge. So I like to really elongate my fingers, and with the medium, I can't really get that really I don't know.
The finger spread is bigger with the medium and the large. It's noticeable.
Yeah, it's just a touch bigger, and my most comfortable shots is it almost feels like the release is just barely clutching on to the edge of my fingers, and I'm just pulling and pushing through it. And so, yeah, I don't know. I've always shot a relaxed shot for a hinge, and that's kind of how I like my button to feel a little bit. Is I kind of just want to feel like my hands kind of falling away from the release, or no, that's not the right word. You get what I'm saying.
It is hard to. Like last night, I was kind of getting in a rhythm, and especially because lately I've been shooting a hinge, but when a fucking hinge breaks and you pulled through the shot and it didn't leave the middle, that is a feeling only a second to something a woman could give you. It's fucking really good, and I don't know if punching is gonna feel as good without that big, just a nice explosion where you're like, there you go, buddy. Go get some. That's a good feeling, man. That's hard to.
It will never feel as good. Yeah, that's the one thing. Punching. I mean, I have some punches every once in a while that feel good, but it will never feel as good as a nice, clean, executed hinge shot or something like that.
Yeah,
it is hard to beat.
It keeps you coming back for more, man.
For sure, it feels fucking nice. But but what you were describing, I always heard Jesse describe it as your fingers slipping off the monkey bars, you're hanging onto the monkey bars, on the jungle gym.
Yeah.
And it feels like you're just slipping off. That's kind of how Jesse, when he shot a lot, but it almost looked like it's slipping off. But
Mark Rubio stole that from Jesse and told me that's what.
Maybe Jesse stole it from him. I don't know.
I doubt it.
Oh man!
When I was shooting a true ball sweet spot a lot, I liked the old ones because they didn't put the new sweet spots. They've got slits in them for grip on your fingers, and you don't get that. The blue release, I got that Gen 1 sweet spot or whatever it is. It's smooth as fuck, and your fingers, same thing. It just slides right off there, especially on a hot, sweaty day. But god dang it, those are some of the best shots you break. There's something to that.
For sure.
I think you need to go back to it because that was when you were shooting your best.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not
I know I'm
wrong.
not wrong.
It's in my quiver every single time you see me as just a break glass for emergency type of thing, you know?
Break glass. Yeah, I have. That's why I haven't gotten rid of the HBCs. Have you fiddled with one of those ailerons?
I really think that's comfortable release.
Comfortable, right? Did
Yeah.
you see anything change in the timing of the shot?
I didn't shoot that much because
You're
I'm just
doing
like,
your
fuck
thing, yeah.
this shit. Why am I pulling through this thing, dude? Just send it. But all I noticed was like, oh, this is like the HBC, but a little bit more comfortable. But you had some weird stuff going on.
Well, for me, I had to get the fast click because I would shoot it with just the normal sear, which I need the normal sear in the standard HBC so that I can get in the click, address the shot, and then keep going. And with the specifically because I got in the habit of dumping the release on the fast sear, just being like click pop. But with the HBC, with the I don't know, it's an HBC with wings on it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but like I can change the shot timing by spreading those out farther.
Huh.
And then if I bring them all the way in, it's not the same, but it's fairly close. But like it gets really slow, like very slow after the click if I have them all the way out. And so I was just curious
if you have it like this, it gets slower.
Yeah.
Huh.
The wider out. And
Yeah.
the thing I think it is, hi.
Just friction or something.
I
Like
think
winding
it's
up?
friction. I think it's just there's more tension in the hand as a whole, and so the rotation that you need, that movement that you need to get a hinge to shoot, it doesn't move as smoothly as your standard HBC. So I was just curious if you had a similar
Probably more
experience
surface
with
area
that,
biting
but
and shit into your hand. It's kind of wedging in there.
that's kind of what I'm
Yeah.
thinking.
That makes sense.
Very scientific stuff.
I don't want to keep you too long, but I wanted to get into you did all that crazy arrow stuff.
What did you do? What is
Please
this crazy arrow
elaborate for
stuff?
me on.
I wish it was more exciting. So, because after all of that, I kind of went back and reanalyzed it, and I realized something. But so what I did, the main thing, so this was my first year, like really shooting a lot of FITA stuff. Like I went to Buckeye, and then what's the other one? The Target Nationals. And then I think some other things maybe. I was gonna go to field, but I didn't end up going to field nationals. But I had always heard like, I guess I had always saw all the like pro shooting, not even a lot of them not even shooting the pro tours, but the regular X10s, like the recurve X10s, and they were cutting like, yeah, and they were cutting various amounts off the back, like, and I kept asking, like I asked a ton of them, like I asked Jimmy, I asked Mike, I asked I don't know who else, a bunch of people. I did ask a lot. Taylor, I think, does that even too, maybe not, I can't remember. But
he's running the pro tours specifically.
Yeah. But I asked a bunch of people, and it varied somewhere between an inch and like 4 inches. And I'm like, I don't know what, like, and it kind of intrigued me because I figured, like, all right, if you found like the perfect sweet spot, maybe that would be more forgiving because of, the whole point with recurve is like that weaker tail section absorbs any kind of like inconsistencies in the finger release. Is like maybe you can find, like, obviously you don't want it as weak as you'd want it for that, but maybe if you find like the right amount, maybe it'd be like a crazy forgiving arrow or something like that. And so I chopped some with 1 inch off the back, and I chopped some with 3 inches off the back, and I started at the same length. I think I started maybe at 30, and I did 325 X10s, which sounds stiff, but I was shooting. So on my scale, this is going to get into another thing. On my scale, my bow is 60, like 2.5 pounds or whatever like that. On the USA scale, it's like 59.5 or whatever. At that time, it was like 64 on my scale because all of the scales that all of the shoots that I had went to at these USA ones, it was saying like 50, or it would say like 56, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like I'd be at 62 or whatever, and it'd be like, initially, no, this started like, I set it at 60 on mine because I didn't know what scale they'd have. I got to the shoot and it's like 56, and I'm like, what the hell? Like I'm kind of at a disadvantage a little bit. I'm like, but I'm not going to change it now. So I was like, just started creeping it up. Now it's at like 62, but at that time I was testing with 64. and I have like a 31-inch draw. So I was like, I'm gonna get the 325s. That seems like maybe the
31-inch draw.
Yeah, mainly because the lean. The lean
Oh
adds like
shit!
probably at least a quarter, maybe a half. But
Oh shit!
I cut those off the back, and I just tried to see if I could tell a difference. And I shot. I don't actually know how many arrows. It was at least over 1,000, and it wasn't like a crazy amount of different combinations. Like it was mainly just swapping points around from each of them. Like I tried 120, 130, 140. And I try to get some sort of conclusion with like, is the 1 inch off the back or the 3 inch off the back? Because that seemed like the two most common things that the pros would say. And I saw maybe 1 point over 36 arrows difference over a bunch of fucking arrows. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to cuss or not, or allowed to cuss.
No, you're fine.
They're way
Sorry.
past that.
Okay, I say we keep doing that. I keep forgetting if I'm supposed to or not. But there was not that much difference, because 1 point over 36 arrows, like, okay, that might actually be not that bad of a return. And then after I posted all that, I realized, I looked back and I'm like, wait, because I took pictures of all the targets. I just hung up 2 targets. I'd shoot 3 in one, 3 in the other, and then I'd switch the order, like, so it'd be kind of fresh and easy. My left target was way more of a predictor of the success or points of an arrow than any other factor that I tested. Like the inch off the back, or the 120 or the 130 or the 140 points. For some reason, even though I didn't shoot it always the first, I swapped back and forth. I don't know if it's just my alignment where I was at, like standing versus that target, but
Sure.
it was definitely most likely, but it was most likely just the fact that the left target for some reason scored better. And I don't know why that was, but it was always the left target. Or it wasn't always the left target that won, but it was almost always the left target that won. So it basically did
That's
nothing.
interesting.
But to me, what was most interesting about it is like some of these pros were like, oh yeah, I tried a lot of different stuff with the recurve X10s and like all this and that, and like, oh, you have to cut 3 inches off the back, otherwise they're gonna splinter in the back, and random stuff like that. I heard a bunch of stuff. None of that seemed to matter. I'm like, I'm gonna maybe make a point here, but there are so many pros that like confidently claim stuff as if it is like gospel. It's like, this is a scientific fact I have tested, and it's like, man, this is like, it just kind of drives me nuts. Archery is not very scientific, which sucks, but it's like, it's like so much of that stuff you have to take with a grain of salt. I coach. I'm an assistant coach for Grandview University, which is the the university in Des Moines here with an archery team, and
really?
That's like one of the biggest things I have to them is like, because we have a few of them that are more advanced. They they watch Paige, they watch Tim, they watch whoever is talking, and it's like anything you hear from any pro, you need to take with a grain of salt, because like I started to realize that after just I guess as I developed and got better, there are so many things that like this person does or that person does that like doesn't work at all for me.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously there's a lot of them that do put that disclaimer and stuff, but there's a lot of them that's like, this is him with this fucking arrow thing, this like whole cut the arrow to the rest. Obviously that works for some people, but it's like, do you realize who this is coming from? Tim can't shoot an arrow that's full length. Like Tim is 34-inch draw to begin with. Like how many arrows are even go that long? But even if obviously some of them will stick out farther, but it's like regardless of where you're at, you have to cut it to the rest for him, because no arrow will ever be stiff enough for him, except for maybe a triple X. So it's like, this is definitely a bad example, or like a case study or whatever. Like obviously it works for Kyle too, but even on that scale, he has a short enough draw length that almost nothing will probably tune good for him in the other way. But it's, I don't know.
No, you're totally right.
Every time I've tried an arrow cut to the rest, just as an example, I'm not trying to, like single it out, but every time I've tried an arrow cut to the rest, it shot like shit for me. And it's, I don't know for sure the reason. Like there could be a million different reasons. For me, it's just a matter of like, I just don't like putting things out as like a matter of fact. It's like, there's no way to scientifically study what arrow's more forgiving. The only thing you could do is, I guess, kind of what I did, just shoot a bunch and try to get as big of a sample size as possible and see if like, well, this arrow scores 3 points better over 2,000 arrows. Like, then obviously it's like, okay, well, there is a difference. is it statistically significant? Maybe not, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Ran over, I guess, but
No, you.
Something when you're talking about science and stuff about it, it made me think of something that our buddy did, our buddy Wendell did a couple years ago. Maybe Elliot remembers it. He had a dozen arrows. I
Cured.
know he sent yeah, he had 3 of them piered. He had 3 of them noctuned, and I think the other 6 were, one was right helical and one was left helical with no difference, if that, like, no, tuning. And he went out and shot them at a target at 80 yards to see which ones group better.
Mm-hmm.
And me and the way my brain works is, why are you shooting them at a target with your bow? You're not a perfect thing, right? Like, none of us are perfect, right? So why are you trying to do it that way? Like, why not take a hooter shooter out there and definitively identify which one of these is the best way to do it? And I talked to him. I raised hell with him personally. Not actually, but I gave, I made my case heard. And he just pointed out the fact that I don't care what the hooter shooter does. I need to know what works for me.
Yeah.
And at the time, I'm sitting there thinking, like, well, if the hooter shooter does it well, now this is a couple of years ago, John. If the hooter shooter does it the best, why wouldn't that be the best for you? You know?
Yeah.
And now, having a lot more experience in archery and stuff like that, it's like, we are beyond imperfect things, and we need to find the mechanism or the tool or the tuning technique, whether that's, having, like Ella Gibson, one draw stop hits and the other one's 3/4 of an inch away.
Yeah.
You have, no no string stop, or, I need
4
my top
stabilizers.
cam hitting first. Yeah, 4 stabilizers. At the end of the day, this is, a personalized sport, and we got to figure out what works for us.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, back then, I'm like, nah, engineering's best. Meh, follow the rules,
Yeah.
And now I'm
No
kind of like,
engineers
yeah, I
gone to
can
Reading.
kind of see, like, in one.
and podium is what I meant to say.
There's at least one engineer there every year, so
You're not wrong though
Mr.
about what
Zach,
you were
they
saying
call.
a second ago about like how it's certain pros that have like you'll never catch Taylor. I don't think, like, giving you too much gospel stuff. You know what I mean? But there are some personalities that are pros that will be like, get that fucking string stop out of here. Or if you don't take 2 turns out of your limbs, or if you're not shooting, if you don't like big red, or you know what I mean, that kind of shit. That is, everything's gospel,
Yeah.
and it's so freaking not. It's so much more simple than that.
Some of it, yeah, and
I
some of
think
it
it
is.
is.
It's not necessarily their fault. Like Paige, Paige and like Paige will usually put the disclaimer thing on there. Like, you try this out for you or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
this might not work for you. And Tim might have even said that in his thing.
Test and
But a lot of
verify.
people take it as like, oh, Tim says that you should cut the arrows at the rest. Like, that's what he says everybody should do. That works
Yeah.
for everybody. And it's like, that's not actually what he said. That's just what you heard he said. But
Look at his
That's
bow
what you
on a
heard.
yearly basis, and look at all the shit that changes. Number of stabilizers, overdraw, this and that.
Yeah.
Like, fucking limbs are clamped together. Like, there's been no cure. Like, it's always trying something. You know what I mean? And it's a personal thing.
Yeah, and I respect that. I mean, with Tim, he literally tries basically everything, even things people haven't even thought of. And he deserves credit for that. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of things that, like, stuck around because of him. I was going to say, I had a few things I wanted to say, but I don't remember all of them. But one of them I did just remember is, like, you have another thing, and I'm not trying to pick on anybody with stuff like this. But, like, for example, somebody like Bodie will say that something works for him. It's like, this is also that extreme where it's like, okay, you got to understand, you have better form, like cleaner form. better execution, better aim than like almost anyone on the entire planet. Like that does not mean that it's going to work for almost anybody else just because of that. Like, um, especially like for me, it was a little bit the I don't remember what it was, but there's a few things like the light stabilizer thing. Like that definitely obviously works for a lot of people, but it's like, oh, if you have more than like I remember Joel said something like if you have more than 20 ounces in the front bar, like you are punching or you are trying to it's not returning to the center close fast enough or whatever. Like you need to lighten it up, otherwise you're just trying to like compensate for. I forget exactly the wording, but it was like you don't know what my dot looks like. My dot is awful, like without a lot of weight on it, just because like particularly in a nervous situation, like I can trust you, it returns pretty damn and leaves incredibly fast from the middle when I'm nervous. Like I shake insane. Now I put like 24 ounces on the front, it still helps, it definitely helps a lot, but it's like I have to get to that, like I have to get to 20 to maybe be Bodie's like 4, you know what I mean?
Right.
Just under that amount of shake, but I don't know, there's just
I took a whole bunch of weight off yesterday, specifically because one of these local guys around here, he's making these fake SOS systems.
Bootleg SOS.
Yeah, bootleg SOS. If he's listening to this, it's not. I'm not saying it a mean thing, but it's not the SOS system exactly. But it's basically very similar. It's the same thing.
It's the Sanlita edition.
It is. It's a cheaper model of the.
So did you put it on or something?
SOS. Yeah, Jesse has one. So
from Lewis.
I was trying not to name drop, but yes.
Fuck it. I mean, if he's, it's nothing bad about it.
I don't want him to get a cease and desist American-made product. Account. Yeah, exactly. American-made from. Yeah. Anyways,
my drink's gonna rattle and piss somebody off.
I know.
I've been trying so hard to be like nice and gentle with it, not do a big avalanche. Because
I was thinking about something we
worried
could
about
do.
my cocktail.
Every time it happens, I'm gonna be like ting 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 ting.
Have you heard it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't notice until just now.
That means the show's running long. That's the cowbell.
It's cowbell. Anyways, we'll wrap it up here. We definitely went off on some tangents, that's for sure. But I don't know.
Sorry for keeping you up so long, man. It's got to be like 1 o'clock there, yeah.
It is actually, but it's fine. It's fine.
You night person or a morning person?
I'm definitely a night person. Archery just makes me to where I need to be a morning person. I hate it. It's really difficult. Like ASAs are such a struggle. Like, have you guys shot ASAs, like the national ones?
No.
I'm not trying to get off another tangent, but like one of the days is 7:30. Like you have to shoot at 7:30 a.m. and so you have to be up at like 5 or something. It's like my eyes can't see anything at this point. Like it's already dark.
Yeah.
They're like insanely dry and everything because I'm not used to being up this early. It's like,
I have a what?
Oh, I was just gonna ask him what time his shop opens.
12 noon to 8, so that doesn't help. I mean, it helps me, but it doesn't help like what I'm trying to do.
I have my wife's cousins live in Florida, and they keep coming up every year to Vegas just as like a midpoint. We hang out while I'm shooting and whatnot. But they were like, "Do you have any shoots down here? You can guys come out and visit us for a change." And Foley, I guess, is the close one. So if
Gator Cup,
is that a good one? Is Foley a good one?
Amazing. Yeah,
is it?
Foley is the best one by far. So
no shit. Okay.
It's mainly the whole Gulf Shore thing. It won't be, I guess, where you guys are from, it won't be as big of a difference. Like for us, it's like 20 degrees or whatever, or maybe less. And then you go down to Foley, and that time of year, it's like perfect. It's like 70 degrees. Last year, it got a little cold, but it was like 50 at the worst. Like at one morning, it was kind of like it was 50.
Heather was complaining about it pretty aggressively.
Yeah.
I went down there, and it was raining, and it was freezing.
It was, I mean, it wasn't great. That definitely wasn't normal Foley, but I think I've been there 3 years in a row, maybe more. I think it's 3 years in a row. And it's always like 70 degrees, and it's like, it's perfect. And it's right on the beach. Like you're literally, the shoot is less than 30 minutes from the beach. You have a lot of really cool restaurants like seafood and all that stuff.
Really?
It's just, in my opinion, it's really nice. And the ranges are nice. Like, speaking of like the whole like my eyes not working thing, it is like by far the most visible, like visibility wise, like less canopy and stuff like that. Like there's hardly any trees. You can actually like the targets have good lighting. That's what I'm trying to say. It's the best
Okay.
lighting, they say. And so it's just it's especially if you're just getting into that, is way more of a shooter's ASA than a
good.
a 3D shooter's ASA where you have to know where stuff is, like you have to know where the
Mhm.
rings are or whatever. And it's just I think it's just a fun time. I think it's the best one for sure.
Good to know. Good to know.
Yeah.
I'd like to go out there and do that. That'd be a blast.
That'd be and then also like we always get an Airbnb there, and that time of year they're dirt cheap just because it's not like
Right.
off season or whatever. And so this year was a little bit more expensive, so they might be catching on to what we're doing, but it still wasn't bad. I think it's going to be like 160 a piece for the whole time. We get down there.
Oh, that's not bad.
Wednesday, so yeah, it's
The
normally
damn algorithms.
Is that in March or when is that?
It's I think it's
February,
end of
right?
February, yeah,
February?
February 20th. area,
Still
something
not.
like that.
Yeah, God, Vegas being at the end of March is so fucking gay.
It's so stupid, yeah.
I hate it.
It's
so
really
much.
cutting into us Californian safari.
That's like halfway through our
I bet.
freaking outdoor season.
Yeah,
I bet.
yeah, no joke. I mean, if you look at it, Reading's 4 weeks, 5 weeks away.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like
that's ridiculous.
you're going to go from quote unquote indoor season where it's supposed to be snowing and raining outside to it's 100 degrees at Reading, or
Mhm.
you know, if it's last year, it's hailing and pouring rain.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you miss
AAE's got that QD rest, and they're just like, "Fuck yeah, you swap back and forth, you little bitch."
Yeah.
Yeah, you missed a good one last year. Last 2024 was a rough year at Reading, so definitely coming back out this year.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I'll
Awesome.
probably make that forever now. I mean,
Heck yeah.
it is a lot of fun, and it's just like I don't know. I have a bad thing with like if I go, it's probably not getting taken off the calendar, so I'm just gonna get more broke. I don't know.
Did you make a
Keep
pretty
you
good
balanced.
amount of? It sounds like you make a pretty good run on the whole grand scheme of things, the whole circuit. You know, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
Yeah. No, it is. It's a lot of fun. It's worked out better than I would have thought. But yeah, it's mainly like, all right, well, if I win some money at this one, I guess I can go to the next one or whatever.
Hell
kind of
yeah.
thing. But yeah, it's this year will definitely be a lot. We'll see.
I think it's kind of cool being kind of central out there that you can hit all those ASAs. You know, it's for us, it's like, you know, we hit the Outlaw series and
Mhm.
we hit the West Coast. You know, I go all the way up to Oregon for stuff and all the way down south and Southern California for stuff. But those are, you know, 8-hour drives, you know, where it seems like central, if you're centrally located, you could hit all 5 of those pretty easily without having
I
to
don't think
do.
Iowa's anywhere near Florida though.
I didn't say that.
Alabama.
I said
Sorry.
if you were central,
Yeah.
Disclaimer,
If you were
if you're
Southern
central.
Missouri, it'd be like about perfect. I mean, more south would be better, but it's Metropolis is the closest at 7 hours. Foley is the farthest at 16, and
Oh,
most of them are like 12, which is not great, but 12 is doable. 16 really sucks. I'm strongly considering flying this year, but I have road tripped that the last 3 times I've went. But yeah,
Are the drives at least nice?
no, not to Foley. Not to Foley. It's like nothing, kind of. I mean, when you get down there, it's kind of cool, but that's about it.
that's a long.
Like when
trip.
I drive up to northern Idaho, like top panhandle, the very top of Idaho, like it
That's
does not
cool.
bother me at all. And it's a 15-hour drive.
Just mountains and
Because-
stuff.
Oh, it's gorgeous. You're going through eastern Oregon and eastern Washington. It's gorgeous the whole way. And you're going through migration territory for elk and deer. So you're seeing
I would
lots of
crash
animals.
so fucking soon into that trip. I have a hard enough time not just doing this constantly, dude. Like, I'd have to have somebody else drive.
Yeah.
There's a migration going on. I'm trying to drive a vehicle. No way.
So
The first year I drove up there, I got pulled over. I was jamming. I was going fast, way over the speed limit. And I came over this little knoll and I was like, random car parked off the side of the road right as I come over the hill. That's probably a cop. But it's not white and black like it is in California. No, they're silver in Oregon. So sure enough, it's a cop, and he pulls me over and he's like, "Hey man, you're from out of state, driving really fast. What's going on?" I got my rifle right behind me and stuff. Like, I'm like, "Yeah, heading up to Idaho, yada yada." He's like, "Look, I'm not gonna give you a ticket. Don't worry, but this is a migration trail, so just be careful because you're in the migration season, so there's elk and deer crossing the road constantly." And I was like, "Cool." Now I'm doing this the whole time. I'm like,
and still driving fast.
Now I'm going 20 under the speed limit, and I'm not anywhere near my lane.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, you made it worse. But
hey, hold on. Before we wrap this up, I got a serious question because he's doing a lot of traveling, and I got to know, what bow case are you using that the airlines like Delta and Southwest are not fucking you raw on oversized baggage fees?
The only time I get charged oversized baggage fees was back from Vegas this year. But it's
That's
the bow
it?
truck. It's just the 47.
No shit.
Yeah, I don't know.
The big bow truck.
Yeah, the biggest bow truck. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I've got.
I don't know how you're getting charged extra.
Well, I'm not getting charged extra because I'm not going anywhere. But Vegas, they got me good. But I was just looking at going out to Lancaster, and I was talking with Mark, and Mark was like, "No, dude, they charged me like $35." And I looked on Delta, and Delta's like, "No, if you have a bag that's over 115 inches, it's a $200 oversized fee or whatever, just like Southwest is." And I don't know if that's new shit or what, but
wait, 150 inches?
15, and that's length plus width plus height.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know what that math is.
The Vegas thing was, did you complain and get your money back or no?
Yes and no. I complained because they fucking like folded my case to the point that those plastic runners on the bottom, they're like glide strips.
Yeah.
Cracked. Like it took a hell of a beating. Everything inside was fine and unbroken, but like it was a brand new bow case, and it's got like the rails, like it looked like it got crushed. And so I sent some pictures to them, and they sent me $200, but it wasn't for the fees that they decided to charge. It was because they fucked my case up.
So as far as I know, everybody,
which isn't even half of that case.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. Do you use the bow truck too? By the way? Yeah, I think it's the best one. But as far as I know, everybody, including myself and the whole, we didn't have a big team last year, but the whole Grandview team, we all got charged that $200, and we all complained, and we all got our money back.
Really?
Yeah, and the reason I think that we all complained, and everybody that I think travels a lot, is I've never been charged an oversized bag fee, and they do have that limit. Like most of them have that restriction, and it's at like it's definitely bigger than it is. But as far as I have experienced, and my boss does a lot more traveling than me. He like goes on hunting trips and shit like that, but he has never been charged that. Usually it's like it's close enough that they just don't do it.
Okay.
I think the Vegas thing, it almost seems like kind of piecing together what it seemed like people, like little stories people had heard, or the desk person said to them, is like it almost seemed like they were told, "Hey, there's going to be a lot of people come through with archery cases. Charge the fuck out of them."
That is exactly what, like we had a lady in Sacramento when we left measure our shit, and then she's like, she measured the case, and I think she came to the conclusion that it was a little bit over, but she goes, "But what's in it? Like, how big is she goes, "How big is your bow exactly?" I'm like, "It's 39 inches long." And she's like, "Oh, you're good, honey," and slapped a ticket on it, and she even like signed like a little, I don't know, she like something that waived the oversized thing, and I made sure to leave that little sticker on it, and we're like, "Oh, kick ass, right on, go." And when we got to the airport and we were leaving Vegas, he goes, "This is oversized baggage, just letting you know." And we're like, "We didn't get that coming from Zach." And he goes, "Every bow case, we're doing that." And he just, he like yelled it to the crowd almost because there was so many of us. And he was just like, "Nope, I'm not even measuring this shit. It's a bow case. It's over."
Yeah,
and
it seemed like that
sucked.
too, yeah.
With Vegas being such a big event, there's 4,000 people going to that event,
Mm-hmm.
and most of them are flying. Most
Yeah.
are flying. If you have 3,000 flyers, and out of 4,000, and you charge all of them $200,
Pretty good return.
if I'm not wrong, that's $50,000.
Yep.
And then on top of
Dicks.
that, you now you refund, let's go on the high side and say 1,000 of those. You still just made 35 or whatever that math adds up to be, $30,000.
It's a drop in the bucket for a company like that, though. Those pricks.
So I definitely think at something like a Vegas that they know an event's going on. They know there's a big archery tournament going on. It happens every year at the same about time, and we can look it up online and know when it's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know if some manager or something was getting some kickback or wanted, I don't know, brownie points or whatever. But yeah, I've only been to Vegas, I guess, 3 times, but that was the only time I ever have seen that or heard that. But yeah, they did a similar kind of thing to me where they asked me like, well, what's in this? I said sporting equipment because I had heard some shit was going down. I'm like, there's no way this is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, well, what kind of sporting equipment? I'm like, motherfucker, we got this, don't we? And that was what happened.
No kidding.
I don't know.
All right.
It was stupid.
Well, I can drive to Vegas. It's only 9 hours for me, but just thinking
That's
about
not
going to other shit like
It's also the
Lancaster
worst
next
drive
year
you
or
could
something.
possibly
It
do.
sucks. There's nothing to look at at all
Yeah, you drive through a desert all the way there.
the whole
Yeah.
time.
I didn't
But
think
that's
about
good to know that Foley or Lancaster, if I ever decide to do it, I won't get raped all the way.
Yeah, not
I'm not
once
driving.
except for that return from
Okay.
Vegas.
That's
Not
good to
once,
know.
And a good bit of flights, but yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Awesome,
Good
man. Well, I know it's late for you, so I don't want to keep you any longer. I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
you guys.
Thanks for. We just touched the tip of the barrel, so I definitely want to have you back to talk more about process and command shooting, and then definitely at the
I'm going to
beginning
start
of the year.
punching tomorrow. Fuck it. I'm going to try it.
I don't know if it's a good idea, but go for it.
I know. It never is. Once in every 6 months, I'm like, I'm going to try it. And it always starts out like, oh, this is the shit. And then it falls apart and I go back to the hinge. It's fine. But sometimes it's a good reset to go the other way for a day or two and then come back.
I agree. It's like almost like reminds you like, oh, I have control of this.
Yeah.
That's the feeling I get, but I don't know.
Yeah, I make the good shots around here.
Yeah,
I always come in when I have, specifically when I was on the clicker button, having that issue where I would just send it when I'm trying to execute a good shot. I always come in from 9 o'clock and then 10 o'clock and then bring it in and then hold it and start executing. Like I'd shoot one, it'd be boom, perfect, dead middle, and then a couple targets later, another one happens, boom, dead middle, and then the target 3. And here we're coming in at 10. Nope, we're gonna go all the way around the dot, and then and then we're gonna try and bring it back up. So it just got progressively worse and worse to where it's like if it happens more than 2 times in a tournament, I'm toast. I would grab one of my releases that was colder than the Arctic and just force myself to work through the shot to like as a reset because I'd get stuck not being able to aim inside. So it's definitely good to get, most of us, I would say probably 95+% in the pro series of archery are process driven shooters, whether that's a hinge or a button or something of that nature. Right. So I always think it's kind of fun to talk to the people that do it a little bit differently.
Yeah.
And kind of because eventually I think it's just that little demon in the back of my head saying eventually we're going to get there. We're going to figure it out. And I'm not going to do it until I hear from everyone on how to do it.
Yeah.
So
I really didn't expect to be one of those people that would like punching, but it was just like, especially with how nervous I get, it's just weird that for some reason that makes me less nervous, like feeling I have control. But yeah, anyways.
That makes no sense at all, but damn it. Good for
no
you
sense
that
to me
it
either.
works. At least it works for somebody like that.
Yeah.
awesome, man. So before we leave, what's your next event?
Hoosier 690 in Indiana.
Hell yeah.
Remember that one?
Nope.
I've heard of
Oh,
it.
I haven't.
It's the Iowa Pro-Am, right? So
Yeah.
it's just that in Indiana, pretty much. They're actually growing.
Okay.
I think it's pretty comparable size to the Pro-Am now, but they have a pretty good payout. PSE, I think they just put their PSE sponsor money into the payout, so it's like I think last year Brady Hempen won that, and I think he won like $3,700, so not bad at all.
Yeah.
But that'll be the
You know
first
who
one.
I saw just won a big chunk of money was Cooper French.
Oh my God, me too. I saw that, and I'm like, what the fuck?
$6
When was this going on?
grand.
Like,
Really?
I will
Where?
fly for $6,000.
$6 grand. It's called the Hit or Miss Archery Tournament. It was this
Yep.
weekend.
Really?
$6 grand for first place. Geez, Louise. I was like, wow. I didn't know we were paying like that, but okay.
Yeah. I don't know if that's
They-
just. I would assume it has to be the shop is just putting up all that money because like I don't know how many people they had, but I can't imagine it's that many in the pro division.
I wonder if the fee for like the entry fees for just everyone is $150, you know,
Could be.
and then the only people that are benefiting from that is the pro division.
Yeah,
But
could be.
it's cool to see, and I want to see more tournaments start paying out a little bit more. A lot of our indoor shoots we pay a portion of the shop. Luckily we shoot for one of the shops that all the money goes back to the shooters for our annual indoor tournament. But I mean, I was even talking to someone from Idaho. He's like, I want to get someone on to do the top. It was the top pin tournament. I want to get someone to run the money event. And I just said, hey man, you can't, if you're going to advertise 75%, you need to pay out 75%, because everyone can do math. And if I go to your tournament and I do the math and I'm missing $200 when you send me my check, I'm going to be upset. And that's what it is. Oh, well, No, if you say 75%, pay 75%. I understand you got fees and things going on, but don't have it be to where I can do the math and it doesn't make sense. Where's the rest of the money? In your pocket? Because it's definitely not in mine. You took, 5 times the amount of money that I was supposed to make out of it. So I definitely want to see more tournaments doing that. And I know it's hard. We're in a niche sport and everything, but I think we're also, because we're in that niche sport, we have each other. You know what I mean? Like I support you out in Iowa, and and all the archers around the area. It doesn't matter, Southern California, Idaho, Washington. Like, I just want everyone to have a great time and have the opportunity to go to these cool shoots and put on a good performance and get some of that pressure that we all want to feel. So at least some of us are getting some of that exponential feeling that you're getting. That
Dude, go watch the
knees
Lancaster
buckling and
Classic
whatnot.
from last year and watch that shit. Like, man, that stage, that fucking, the lights just fucking focused right on. That's got to be the coolest experience.
100%. I saw it. I was watching it live. It was awesome. I meant to ask you earlier. Maybe you don't remember. I remember all my shots. You had one shot, and you went like this.
Was it just at a normal? Like, was I going for the 12? Because I remember missing that one. What was
I don't remember if it was the. I think it was a regular 10. I just remember. It was, you were up there and you like swung it out to the right and then like up and around. And I always wanted to ask you, but I also hate being that guy that's like, hey man, what happened on that bad shot?
Well, here you are.
That was, but here I am. Now I have a platform and I get to ask you, what was that? I did not in a negative way. I just wanted, if you remember, what happened there that created that kind of reaction.
I don't remember for sure. I do remember what you're talking about. It was probably almost like a too slow reaction time thing. Like, it was holding in the middle, but like obviously it wasn't holding that good, and it just started to go out of the middle, and so I just like kind of like
Gotcha.
that. And if I did like that, it probably came off the wall just a little bit too or something. I don't know.
Okay.
I know on the 12 I missed the last 12. I think I came off the wall just a little bit. Like it wasn't actually that bad of a shot, and it like hit like a fucking 9 or what. It was a 9 low. It wasn't that crazy far above the 12, but I think it came off the wall a little bit. Like that nerves, I just couldn't feel shit. I couldn't feel anything.
No, I just figured I'd ask. Gotta
That's
have
awesome,
something
though.
spicy in the conversation, right?
Yeah, it's the Bojitsu.
Hey, yeah, that's what you called it, Bojitsu.
Yeah.
That's right.
I can make that work, especially with punching. Like, I mean, obviously, because you know when you choose when it's going off. But yeah,
Do you ever release? Oh goodness, I could keep talking forever.
It looks
Do you
that
ever
way.
release? Do you ever release knowing that your hand's about to go up, like it's below the dot and then it goes up,
it's I don't. Well, I guess
or
yeah, I
like
should say
or like
yes.
from the side or something like that, or down
Yeah.
or something?
That would be more when I'm struggling. Like if I'm really under pressure, kind of Vegas thing. Like especially if it's locked low. Some of that I don't even realize that I'm gonna do it, but now I've started to realize what is happening. I was like, don't do this fucking shit where it's like holding low. I know what you're thinking of doing, and it took me a while to get to where that's actually like a conscious thought about it. But yeah, for sure.
Okay.
For sure. It's kind of like the Jimmy thing. Like Jimmy, now that I've punched for long enough, I know like when I watch like Jimmy, do you remember watching Jimmy? Like it used to be really bad. Like it used to look really ugly when he punched. Yeah. And then you'd see that, and then you'd see that like, like throw it. And I know
Yeah.
exactly what that was. It's like it was just holding over there, and it's like you just like can't mentally get it to move, and then you're just like, you know what? It's not like I don't know if it's a conscious thing for him. It wasn't for me, but it's like if you just throw it and punch at the same time, it's gonna go in the middle. So you just do it. No.
Oh my god.
And it works too much. That's the thing.
Oh,
If
that
it didn't
sounds
work, you
terrifying.
wouldn't do it.
Do you
It's
consider
not good.
that a drive-by? Is that like your definition of a drive-by? Like it's a conscious
No.
effort? Like
Drive-bys,
No,
I think, are
I don't
slower,
even-
right?
Yeah, for me, a drive-by would be like I'm watching it bounce around, and I'm just deciding like right when it goes past my head to hit it, like on the
Yeah.
screen. This is more like if my head's the center, it's more like it's
It's
just
a
kind
right
of
hook.
here, and I just kind of. It's not a good deal. It's not something you should do.
Uh,
Oh
Not
man.
a good one.
Awesome, bud. Well, I'll let you go. I appreciate you coming on and hanging out with us after hours. Once
way
again,
after.
yeah, way after hours. We appreciate you. We really look forward to seeing what you do this year at Lancaster and
Yeah,
in
man.
Vegas and everything. And we'll definitely get you on.
I'll keep an eye out
beforehand to
for you in
do a-
Vegas. Say what's up.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for having me on, and
Hell yeah.
thank you for all the kind words stuff. I had a fun time.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Another 365 guy as
Yeah.
well.
Oh yeah, yep,
Hell yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, did I tell you, Rocky? He's like a part owner in the company or something like that. He is Pella, which is like 40 miles from here, and
Oh, really?
I think that's where they finished the lenses. I've never actually been over there, but yeah, I just met him through a friend and stuff like that, and yeah, he's a really good guy. And I shot the lenses before I met him, but yeah.
No,
I've never
we-
met
we-
him. I only shoot them we had Chuck on a couple weeks ago, and just being friends with Chuck over the years and him being just a glass guru or whatever, like he kind of pointed us in that direction, and I fucking dig him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're
We
great.
both love them. They're great. Anywho, bud, thanks again for coming on. And as always, the arrows fly straighter after hours. So
There it
we
is.
will. We're gonna wrap it up here. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. Have a good night. Don't leave.
Later. Oh yeah.
Don't leave.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Don't
I'm
leave.
not
act-
leaving.
Okay.
This is the fun part.